Hey, good evening.
Hi.
Welcome to a very slightly belated Blue Rose. Apologies for that. That is my fault for leaving everything to the 11th hour tonight and running around like a near headless chicken, which might have been entertaining for people to watch live on stream. I don't know, but we opted against it this time. If you feel you would like to see me running around like a headless chicken next time, please say in the comments and we'll try and make that happen.
I now have a
2
brilliant,
weeks' time.
brilliant mental image of a nearly headless chicken, so the head's kind of bouncing along on the side as
Oh.
they run.
Oh, that happened once. I'm derailing already from the stream, but I remember reading something about a chicken which was decapitated that way, and it lasted for days with its head just hanging off by a single artery or something. It's weird. I don't recommend people read that article unless they like
No.
gross stuff, but it is something that I definitely remember reading once and being about.
That is very, very gross.
I apologise for any high-pitched whining sounds. It's not actually me. It's
Okay.
my dog.
Floof.
Hey, Floof.
Yeah.
We have a floof on 2 of the streams now because Wolf Song has a floof.
Oh,
Ah.
It's floof sitting long term while someone is
Ooh.
sorting their new house out.
oh,
You had a floof off yet?
Housing situation. They haven't had a floof off yet. They're not on the same stream.
Damn it. We need them on the same stream for a floof off.
maybe at Christmas when we do all the random Christmas stuff.
Yes,
Yes.
that would be so exciting.
Yes, a random floof off would be a good idea for Christmas.
Mm.
Okay, anyway, let us get started. As we're already a little delayed starting off. I am your host, Andrew, GM for the Blue Rose campaign, one of my favourite roleplay worlds to inhabit and use, and having a wonderful time doing this with friends here. And we have with us today Ziska, played by Anna. Would you like to introduce yourself?
Hi, everybody. I'm Anna playing Ziska. She is a sea folk from the Resian area. So she's got one of these like really big mohawks going on. So she's quite a sight when she travels around with her animal friend, Charla, who's a horse. And we just did something pretty epic by saving a young lad who'd been stolen away by some cultists. So we'll just find out what happens next.
Yes, and for those of you who don't know, just for anyone tuning in for the first time, or maybe who've tuned in before and don't know what a Resian is, a Resian is kind of like a rider of Rohan, but more punk. Punk Rohan, I think, is the best
Punk
term for it.
Rohan.
There we go.
Yeah. Riders of Rohan, but less armor, more tattoos, more mohawk.
That sounds
But still-
amazing.
Yeah,
Far
Yeah,
more
man.
badass and awesome in general, it sounds
Yeah.
like.
yeah. I mean, if you imagine Theoden with a mohawk, I can see that.
Or
Go back to the special
Eowyn.
editions. Just put...
Eowyn with a moat.
Oh, Eowyn
Oh,
with
yes.
a mohawk. Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, that Aragorn would have paid her a lot more attention if she had a mohawk.
Yeah.
And we also have with us today our wonderful raven Micah, played by Anne-Marie.
Yay! That's me. I am black and shiny. As Micah, a rye raven, who is a raven who has kind of human intelligence, been awakened, and likes to stabby with the beaky and ride on people's shoulders.
And Poopy with a butty.
Yes, ideally in people's eyes. My aim is pretty good so far, I think.
Oh, your aim is excellent. Your
And
aim
it's
with
only
that
going
bum
to get
is
better.
excellent. And we also have with us Carenza, played by Jess.
Yay! Hello, everyone. Yeah, I am playing Carenza, who is a Vata, I believe that is my race,
Yes?
and a magic user. And I have wild magic, which means occasionally really crazy stuff happens, especially if I get scared.
Yeah,
but
you're,
so
you're
far,
not in the best control.
So far, I've not done too badly. I've managed to go invisible when I actually wanted to. And I helped rescue the kid because I snuck off all invisible like.
You all
Yes,
helped
and
with
I
that, but
helped.
yes, Carenza
I
did an
helped with that as
excellent
well.
job turning invisible and running through a host of
Yeah, I didn't actually help
evil-
the fight at all. I just turned invisible.
I think
and-
I-
Well, to be fair,
Garbo.
you were the
You,
only one who
you
wasn't helping with
prioritised the
fight.
hostage,
Yeah.
which in a hostage situation seems right.
I think I managed an epic eye removal killing of someone, didn't I?
Yes, you did. That was
Yes.
Oh
quite
yes.
impressive.
In fact, well, just quickly, before we go into what happened last time, I should say those of you watching may notice that we have a blank slot today where unfortunately Brian is missing. He has been away for surgery, which thankfully went very well, and he's recovering, and we wish him well right now. Hope he comes back to us soon, but as far as I'm aware, he's doing well right now. And we have a special guest joining us at some point in the stream later, who will either take up that black space or it will remain black and they will be forever shrouded in mystery. But you will at least hear their voice and know who they are.
So not so shrouded in mystery.
Shrouded in partial mystery if they don't choose to put them camera on.
And I'm about to say, unless they actually also wear a shroud.
Unless they also wear a shroud. Player number 4, if you are listening and you have a shroud, feel free to get one now.
Awesome. We should probably say hello to chat too.
Hi,
Who's
chat.
in chat? We have
Hi,
DSD
chat.
Media. Hey.
Yeah. Hi,
Claire Cat.
Paperboat. Hi, Claire
and
Cat.
Paperboat. I think that's all we've got. If you're there, say hello. I don't think we've announced it to quite so many people because we're all Slack and it's Brian that normally tells everybody that we're playing. And if you're there, Brian, hi, we miss you.
We do.
Please get plenty of rest.
Yeah.
But whether you are talking to us in chat or just watching, you are all very welcome here and we're glad to have you.
Yes. We do love our viewers.
Yeah. It's not the numbers or how much you chat, it's just the fact that you're with us.
Yes.
And feel free to pop in on the Discord as well. All sorts of shenanigans happen there as well.
Yes.
Yes. Yes.
Everyone's like, yes.
There, if you're in the background there. Oh yeah, we should also introduce Bear, who's in the background, handily putting out the Discord links, making sure that we have everything working. Without him, the stream would literally fall apart and we'd be talking to ourselves.
Yep.
So thank you, Bear, in the background. And okay, so last time around, you succeeded in rescuing the farmhand Aaron from the cultists of the Crimson Eye, who were trying to steal him away because of his arcane potential, which had been hitherto untapped. You made yourself some friends of the city guard who were very surprised to have uncovered this plot and cell of the Crimson Eye. And at the end of last session, Doretis went away to process these cultists and find out more about them. And the guardsman who had come upon you gave you money enough to last for a little while in the city and said that the guard would probably contact you again to give you further thanks in the near future. As you come out of the warehouse where you have saved the child, and probably you're all yawning quite a bit because you've had very little sleep, it suddenly dawns on you that you are now finally at the end of your journey and you have come at last to the city of Aldis. As you look around you, you take in the majesty of a city unlike any of you have seen before. Ziska, where you are from, the Resian plains are wide and expansive, and there are very few buildings which can't be tied down to a horse.
That's one way to
Everything is
describe
yurts.
it.
Everything is yurts. Yurts and punk. It's a good place to live. We should go there sometime.
Sounds it. Let's go.
Carenza, you are used to cities in your land of Jarzoni, but the cities you are used to are of grey stone, huge domineering cathedrals, and very unartistic, bleak, shall we
Okay.
say, architecture.
Harsh.
And Micah, you are from a forest and have only recently wakened to the world. This is your first time seeing a city at all.
Wow.
So for all of you, I feel like this is a momentous moment. The streets of the city that you see before you are some of the finest in the world. Even in the poorest parts of Aldis, all the thoroughfares are crafted of earth-shaped stone, melded seamlessly into place by earth-shaping talents in service to the city's bureaucracy. To either side of major roadways around you are garden swaths, rarely more than 2 or 3 feet in width, but extending the entire length of the roadways. These patches of green, set slightly higher than the road itself, are planted with flowers and shade trees up and down their length. In some places, these garden swaths are traded out for flowing water features, broken up by the occasional fountain. The city has a radial street plan with concentric circular roads connecting its wide radiating streets, which lead to the royal palace at the centre of the city. Narrow gardens on either side of the streets are planted with cedar, olive and almond trees, large rose bushes and many flowers. Aldis, as you begin to wander round and take in the city, is divided into 5 wards: the outer, lower, middle and high wards, along with an additional ward along the shores of Lake Vash, known as the Lake Ward. Except for the Lake Ward, the city's wards are concentric circles, with the outer ward on the outer edge of the circle and the high ward at its centre. The outermost ward of the city, where you are now, has hostels and inns for travellers, open-air markets, warehouses and various restaurants, market stalls, florists and other businesses reliant upon fresh goods from outside the city. The areas along the banks of the Rose River have the same sorts of businesses, as well as fisheries and dockside taverns. For health considerations, all tanneries, soap makers and other businesses that produce noxious smells are located on these outskirts of the city, and occasionally pungent odours fill your nostrils. But Aldis has strict regulations against pollution of the land, water or air. The kingdom's adepts have developed alchemical methods of rendering harmful wastes into harmless byproducts. Since these alchemical methods are expensive, some businesses try to skimp on them as cost-cutting measures, and agents of the crown are charged with ferreting out polluters and ensuring they comply with the kingdom's laws. Where you are, the lower ward is home to the city's labourers, folk who work in the various shops, load and unload ships and caravans, and maintain much of the city. This area also has blocks of apartments between 2 and 4 stories tall. The ground floors of many of them have small shops and restaurants with living space above. Small townhouses inhabited by shopkeepers and hostels for out-of-town traders are common in this section of the city. And as well as all of this, you see the fabled lights of Aldis, strange metal poles with crystals set in them which serve as street lights in the dark.
Wow.
A far cry from the fires you know from your home areas.
Wow. So the city is basically incredibly pretty and very busy and full of life.
Yes, that is one way to put it. And it is, I would describe it, for going out of the wonderfully well written by the people who made the book thing of it, I've always thought of Aldis as being a cross between Gondor, but also more high tech, because its magic is far more, you know, you've got things like the street lights, you've got the anti-pollutants, etc. I'd say it's very almost Italian style.
Yeah.
I was going to say, it sounds like Gondor meets Atlantis, really.
Yeah, actually, that's a good way of putting it.
That's a really good way of putting it. Gondor meets Atlantis.
I will remember that. But right now, you need to be thinking about what you will do next, because you have been given money enough to last a little while in the city, but you are going to need a place to stay.
Karenza is going to be totally distracted by all the different flowers and will start sniffing them.
What kind of what time of day is it? Is it still kind of dark? Are the street lights on?
The street lights were on when you came out. By the time you've wandered around a bit, places are opening up. You can get the scent of fresh bread baking from various stalls. You might want to get yourself breakfast with the money you've got.
I'm just going to fly
Breakfast
up to one of
sounds
these light things and go and kind of peck it gently, not terribly hard, but just kind of
Investigate.
lightly with my beak. Kind of, what is this? It was shining a minute ago, now it isn't. What, guys? What is this?
That earns you a look from one of the guards, who narrows their eyes at you and says,
I had a feeling
"Hey,
it might, but
What are you doing?
I'll speak up for her at that point. She's just investigating. She's never seen one before. She won't do it any harm, honest.
Ah, newcomers to the city. Oh,
I'm
we
going
would
to fly down
appreciate
and
it.
land on Karenza's shoulder and do my best to look law-abiding.
I'll give her a little,
the
gentle
guard will
little
smile.
stroke.
The guard will smile at you, and instantly any aura of threat he has diminishes, and he seems quite open and easy to talk to, and says, "Outsiders, eh? Yeah. The lights always seem a wonderment to people visiting for the first time. We would ask that you do not go up there and poke and peck at them, though. While they are set in place, they do sometimes fall away, and a single crack in the gems will cause them to die, and they'll need replacing. You're free to admire them as much as you like, but please try and do so without touching."
Don't touch again.
Thank you
I
very
say
much.
this out loud so I don't have to try and make psychic connection because I'm tired.
Mm.
Yeah, the guard, as he looks at you, is going to get a look of concern on his face and say, "It's very early in the day for travelers to be coming in looking so worn down. Do you need directions? Do you know where you're staying? Can I help?"
We just finished saving someone, and the city guard took away some very bad people. We need breakfast and somewhere to sleep.
Wow, that is quite a thing, saving someone in the city on your first morning here. Well, breakfast, I'll tell you what, he beckons round to his partner, a night person who is guarding the other end of the street, and they have a brief conversation, and then the first guard comes back to you and says, "I'll take you somewhere where you can get some breakfast, a nice place, very cheap, but good quality food. And along the way, I can tell you about some of the places you could stay in the city if you're looking for a place to stay."
I'm going to
Sounds good
perk
to
up
me.
at the sound of breakfast.
Oh,
I'm going to look at
absolutely.
Ziska just to check that this is okay, because Ziska's kind of our ringleader when Doretis isn't here.
Yeah, so like I think Ziska is just going to, she's sort of like gonna give like proper like stretch because she is really tired at the moment, being snaffled up by plants, does that to your muscles. And she's like, "It sounds good, and if we can find somewhere reputable that's friendly to horses, that would be really, really useful. And we're also looking for work, so if you know anywhere we can find some above board employment, that'd be really great."
I'm about to say, I think psychically to Karenza that I'm really good at picking locks, and then I think to her, I probably shouldn't say that out loud though, right?
No, that's probably not a good idea either. That's probably worse than pecking the lights.
Oh, right. Okay. I'm for now mentally readjusting my list of priorities. Gotcha.
And hi, Jolly Roger.
Hi, Jolly Roger. Thank you for joining
Hey,
us.
Jolly Roger.
Okay, as you walk around and having this conversation, the guard takes in what Ziska has said and thinks for a moment and says, "Do you have money for a place to stay? Are you looking for cheap and cheerful then?"
Well, the town guards like gave us some finances, thanks, said that should permit us accommodation for a couple of weeks, but certainly we don't
want to be too frivolous.
Yes, we don't want to be spending it all,
but they need
in
to look
1 week.
after the horse.
Yes, we definitely need someone that will take very good care of a horse,
and they need to be okay with feathers in the bed.
Yeah,
well,
I can clear those out.
True.
I would say then the best place for you to go if you're looking to save the money you've been given, and you mentioned work as well. I would say maybe you want to go to the pasture in the Outer Wards. There's 2 places there which might suit you.
Pasture in the Outer Wards.
Sounds very idyllic. Ziska is immediately starts thinking of the expanses of the lands of home she hasn't seen for a little while now.
The guard will nod and say, yes, the pasture is named for a broad, flat green space between the northern hills and the city to the south. It's mostly empty plain. It's quite a different place from the main city, but there's some really good places there. It's kind of a trading hub for those farmers coming in from the outlying settlements, towns, villages. They'll stay there for a second. There's a lot of livestock there, a lot of trading going on. It's not quite city life, but it's the place to go if you want to save some money. I'd suggest you try either the Shepherd's Crook or the Open Roof.
I like the sound of an open roof, but you might find it uncomfortable if it rains.
The guard laughs at that and says, I wasn't talking quite so literally, Lady Rye, but you will be able to find a good place there, I'm sure. I'll point you in the direction after we've got you breakfast.
Yay!
Breakfast.
Breakfast sounds excellent.
The guard leads you along and after a while is curious about what you did to save a member of the citizenry and asks for your story.
Carenza will just blurt it all out in a random, slightly weird order, and a kind of, and she'll tell about the pigs that were eating people and how that they are not eating people anymore, and was it the silence, and how we rescued Aaron because we worked out that the pig was projecting where he was.
And I mean, I would try
we had a guy with us, official guy called Directus, and he's doing the paperwork.
Yeah, I think Ziska would sort of like, really want to promote that they were linked with.
We have Marcus and Greymane with us too, as well, don't we? Or do we?
You don't have Marcus. Marcus is still back at the farm.
Oh yes.
Right.
We also need to make sure we go get Marcus.
Yeah.
Maybe once you find a place to stay.
Yeah.
Greymane will suggest that once you found a place, she will go and get Marcus and lead him to whatever dwelling you deem most suitable.
Okay.
Yeah.
Carenza, can you make a communication check as you tell this story to the guard to see what kind of impression you make?
Communication. Okay.
Oh boy.
How fantastical does he think it is in a land of magic?
Well, you've got stunt
I've got
points.
2 stunt points.
Yes.
I've got 14 anyway. Is this role play?
Yeah, this would be role play.
I'd quite like to do sway the crowd and have other people overhear what we're talking about as we go past.
I was looking at that one. I didn't want to. I was holding my tongue, but I was going. I really hope she picks Sway the Crowd. So as you are telling this story to the guard, which is slightly scattered. It's a slightly scattered
scatterbrained
tale.
I'm going to be dropping
tale.
the occasional. I'm going to be dropping the occasional.
Michael will occasionally remind me telepathically about little bits I've forgotten, and I'll just blurt them out.
Occasionally I'll probably blurt out, and then I ripped his eyes out, and things like that.
Yeah,
the bad guy, which I consider a great achievement.
Well, you gain a following of around 4 or 5 other denizens who follow along to listen to the story, and several others who are going about their morning work seem quite eager to be following as well, but unfortunately have other things that they need to attend to. By the time you reach the bakers, everyone is so enthralled that you find yourselves given enough money from the passers-by to afford your breakfast and giving you a little bit extra.
I earned this money by telling a story.
You do indeed.
I like
And
that.
it has also helped spread your name and deeds just a little further through the city.
Awesome.
Excellent.
Yay!
I have a feeling that might have been good for us.
And after you have had your breakfast at the place, the guard will then tell you how to get to the pasture if that is where you want to go. He does say there are other nicer areas in this part of the city in the if you want, but the pasture is definitely the place to go if you're looking for cheap and cheerful and possible work.
Bear has just asked, is Karenza becoming a professional storyteller? I don't think I probably actually told it that well.
Well,
But-
yeah, but the definition of professional is if you get paid for it. So yes.
True. I also want to make a point of I would have been very, very thankful to everyone that gave us money and very, very touched by it.
And I would
Yes,
have said
I-
thank you to everyone as well.
I think that will actually lean into the sort of storyteller you are. I think everyone is more attracted to your bubbly personality as you're telling the story.
Than the
Than
actual
anything
story
else.
itself, yeah.
And your impassioned thanks afterwards only adds to the "Aw, bless these outsiders."
Yeah, I think
Such a cute
Ziska's,
little bardling.
I
Yeah.
think Ziska's gonna probably end up being like I say the adults, and sort of like if they're giving the money, it's like keeping an eye on the money, like buying the stuff. Right? Okay, I'll put this somewhere, keep this somewhere
Mm.
safe for later. Keep it in the kitty. Is it?
Okay,
I think
so
at one point
go on.
I got a coin. One of my goals was to get a horde.
Yeah,
And
Ooh.
basically, as a raven, I don't really have pockets, and I'm fine to not have pockets. So I've got my horde. I think I would have given to Karenza for safekeeping.
I
Yeah.
will
One of
definitely- I
Karenza's
will take
coins
the,
is
the
mine.
responsibility of keeping your coins safe very seriously.
It's just a coin. It's my horde.
It's just a coin.
Yeah,
Okay.
it's my horde. My horde currently consists of one coin,
Okay.
but it is my horde.
Okay. I will take it very seriously.
Thank
I
you.
will also take great delight in buying my own breakfast with my own money because I have potentially never done this before, given my backstory.
I'm
okay.
going to be
so-
sat there going, bread, money, bread, money. Ooh, other kinds of bread. Cake, money.
Just tell us what you want, Micah, and I'll sort it for you. Okay. Just not all the
Well,
things. Just not all.
I
the
don't
things.
really-
choose one today and we'll choose another tomorrow.
Yeah, I don't know. Well, you think that thing looks very bright, which kind of makes me think it might be poisonous. I'm saying this psychically, not. So
I'll explain what things
are you
are if
gonna
I
have?
know.
I'll have what Karenza's having.
Okay.
Well, you'll end up. You've got enough money to have a very nice breakfast at the place that you go to. It's a place which will sell normal bread products. It probably also has a limited stock of meats there to make sort
I
of
was going to say, if
breakfast
there's like a pie,
sarnies.
that would be good.
Some kind of breakfast sandwich sounds good.
Mm.
Yeah.
With
Yeah,
with some
yeah,
nice
they'll be
bread
able
and some
to
meat
get you
go
that,
in
and they'll also be
and some
able to get
cheese.
you some kind of drink as well, whether it be hot nettle tea or something a bit stronger to help wake you up.
Oh yeah.
Sounds awesome.
Yeah. I think Ziska will definitely like. Yeah. What have you got available? She'll want to hear like all the
coffee
options.
equivalent.
Well, I know. It's just she did. It's not water. Just anything that's just not pure water. You know, that'd just be great right now.
Yeah,
I'm going to want some. I'm going to want to try all the things. So if there's something stronger which wakes people up, I'm going to want to try it with predictable results.
I might pour you out a limited amount. Karenza probably has quite just enough sense to pour Micah a small amount of whatever it is we
And
end
then
up cooking.
Micah's just going to be bouncing off the walls for the rest of the day. But yeah.
Yeah, they have a rather strong smelling drink which they give you, which is made from the grounds of certain fruit that grow quite away from the city. Quite a hard beverage to get in, but very good for waking people up, and that helps you all immensely, although you're still quite tired from no amount of drink is going to help you from the fact that you need sleep
You
soon.
need sleep,
but
yeah.
yeah. So after you eat your breakfast, what would you like to do next? The guard tells you the way to the pasture, but then has to return to his guard
Okay.
post. So it's up to you if you go there or whether you try your hand at the other places in the city.
I'd
I
like to
think
get the guard's
sleep.
name before he goes away.
Absolutely. Exactly what I
yes.
was thinking.
Because he was very kind.
Yes, the guard's name, I do have it. I have a bank of names at anyway. Shakri.
How do you spell that?
Charki.
Oh, like chakra, but not.
Yeah.
Hi, another unique. Thank you for the gift of the sub.
Hi, Unique.
Wow,
How are
a
we doing?
total of
How are you?
71. Wow.
Blimey, another unique.
Everything's
Thank
going
you.
well, Unique. We are having breakfast.
Yeah.
Mhm,
Micah just drank a local equivalent of coffee.
mhm.
And is now
Yes.
very jittery,
I'm
but
kind of
tired.
dancing on Karenza's shoulder, but I don't really have the energy to lift my wings up
Yeah.
to actually
think-
fly. So I'm kind of flapping
Hopping. You're just hopping
Yeah.
and
back and
bopping.
forth.
I'm just
Yeah.
kind of bopping on your shoulder.
Yeah.
And then occasionally you're holding up like bits of my breakfast sandwich and I'm trying to eat it while bopping.
Giving yourself indigestion. at the
Yeah.
same
Yeah.
time.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Uh,
I think we
thi-
definitely need to go find somewhere to sleep. Are we going to one of these places in the pasture, or are we gonna?
This
I
city
kinda like
looks
that-
really
that-
pretty, but
I like the idea of being where the farmers are, because so far we've got along well with farmers.
and currently I'm a bit overwhelmed and I'm thinking actually it would be nice to see trees and stuff or grass or
Greenery.
something, not all these
Right.
buildings.
I'm good with it because it's different, because I'm used to being in a city and it sounds like it's not.
mm. Yeah.
Bear's just given 100 bits for the role play for breakfast.
Thanks,
It
Bear.
was a good breakfast.
It was a good breakfast. Yeah, I think Ziska would agree and say that let's head over there and see what vacancies they have.
Okay. It
Awesome.
takes you a little while wandering through the streets, but eventually you come to the pasture, a wide, verdant, mostly empty plain. The grasses here grow quickly and thickly, but are kept short by the frequent feeding of the pack animals, cattle, sheep, that traders
Yeah.
and travellers
The hype
pause.
train is close. Sorry.
A hype train is close. My goodness.
Yeah.
These trains happen so quickly. Yeah, so the grasses here are kept short by the frequent feeding of the pack animals, cattle and sheep that traders and travellers pause to pasture here before continuing into the city. Visitors can pay to have young pasture keepers watch over their animals, which are reclaimed by turning in. What's going on?
Yeah,
Hype
made
train.
the hype train happen.
Oh no! Right, I am not reading any more
No,
description of
he's like,
places.
Sorry, sir. Sorry, sir.
Not sorry, not sorry.
There, if you're in the background, can you get Millie? Can you get the hype train, the hype millipede ready? Hypey. We need our hype millipede.
Oh, this means I have to be really careful, doesn't it? Because every time I just caused a hype train and it's my character that has to be careful.
For those of you who don't know, anytime a hype train happens on the Blue Rose stream,
Oh, wow.
Oh, good
Another
grief.
unique.
Another
Unique,
Oh wow.
Unique is growing Hypey the hype millipede. There will be an even
Yeah.
bigger millipede appearing at some point in this stream to annoy Carenza.
Yeah.
Or help Carenza, you never know.
I've just got this. I remember these. I've just got this like image in my head now that another unique and puddle butts just like have this like thing in their calendar now. Like, hey, every fortnight on a Wednesday, it's that
Well, the
hype
thing
day.
is, Puddlebutts is
Already
not here.
89%
Another
is
Unique
here.
has a chance to just take the crown here today without
Oh,
Puddlebutts here to
Yes,
defend his
Puddlebutts isn't
turn.
here.
Ah.
I'm seeing it as a kind of battleground here, and Puddlebutts is in his castle, and another Unique is taking territory without Puddles noticing.
So I am one of the current hype train conductors.
Oh.
So there's me to fight for it too. Anyway.
I mean, at this
Bring it
point,
on.
you may be the train conductor, but another Unique is that person on a Monopoly board who buys all 4 stations.
Yeah, very much.
The other Unique owns all the stations here.
Yeah.
Ah, I'm
Not the
You
You have the
I'm
wrong
wrong
perception. The wrong perception about what?
Another
Yeah.
unique being the hype train conductor
Or owning all the stations.
or owning all the stations.
Or Monopoly boards? There are so
would
many
you-
things we could have perceived wrong.
Would you prefer to have the water board and the electricity rather than the stations?
Or
They're
Mayfair
also
and Park
useful.
Lane.
Actually, to be quite honest, another Unique saying that I have the wrong perception. My perception is 13 according to this character sheet. My perception's fine. I know my perception,
Well,
sir.
it depends on the DC, I suppose, Andrew.
It does.
Mhm.
Okay, I'm going to chance continuing my description of the pasture.
Okay.
And we'll see what I'm really worried because I feel like someone is going to put something in the bits just as I start reading again, and it's all going to come
Probably.
apart.
Yes, our perception is definitely that another unique is awesome.
Yes.
Oh yes, yes, that is definitely that is a correct perception. That is never
Yeah.
a wrong perception.
No, never.
Oh, and GSD Media has messaged me to say that the chat's not working.
Oh no.
Uh-oh.
I am sorry if you can hear us, GSD Media. I am sorry that the chat is not working for you. I don't know why that would be.
Another unique has clarified that Puddlebutts and I are both participating together to support the channel. It is not a battle, it's a joint effort to support. That's the
Ah.
perception we got wrong.
Yeah.
They're not battling each other, they're just both being lovely. Yeah, we can accept that
We,
difference.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, that works.
That
Yeah.
works. Yeah.
Yeah, we very much appreciate the support.
We very much do.
Yeah, well, I'm sorry for the wrong perception, but it's that you're always trading. You always seem to be trading some kind of comments with each other back and forth when.
It looks like a very good-natured battle, to be fair. I mean,
Yeah.
you know,
Banter.
Yeah.
I'm not
It looks
talking
more
about,
like
you
a
know,
sparring
swords and
contest
sword or
between
anything.
fencing partners.
Yeah.
Yes.
Anyway, let's I'm still getting stuff through on the chat, so I don't know if the chat is just not working for John.
The GSD.
Or...
Do you want to try logging out and logging back in
Yeah,
again?
I was about to say the
Refreshing it.
IT crowd classic. Have you tried turning it on and off again?
Yeah, if you try turning it off and on.
Okay, I only say that because it seems like other people are able to use it, so I suspect it's more likely to be a problem on
Yeah,
your
it's,
end.
it's saying that
GSD.
GSD Media
Yeah.
isn't one of the users in chat. So
Oh no.
Ah.
for some reason,
Oh,
it
maybe
doesn't
another
think
browser.
He's in
Another
chat.
unique suggested.
Yes.
Weird.
Anyway, I'm going to risk continuing on
Yep,
and see what happens.
We've only got
Cool.
another minute for the hype train to complete level 2, so you'd better keep describing things.
Okay. Buildings are sparse in the pasture, and a good proportion of them cater to travellers entering or leaving the city. Inns and taverns, stables, boarding houses, and a few slope sweep manure gatherer sheds. The area is dominated by animal activity and smells like it, making lodgings cheap, as the only people that can tolerate the area for long are the locals, the cattle drivers, and other animal workers that are not
Thank
put
you,
off
Love
by the
Unique.
fragrant aromas. Oh, thank you,
Thank you,
Unique.
Unique. 77. Wow. We
Oh,
love you, another
77.
Unique.
I'm at 76. Oh, that needs to be fixed.
All the sevens.
To be fair, 76, I know you're at 77 now, but 76 is a good number. Makes me think of Overwatch and Soldier 76.
It's like 16.
But you get 8 more.
That's really funny. I had to transfer Bear money today, and I transferred him £1 more than I actually needed to, and he asked why, and I said, so that my bank account ends in 69.
Good.
Yeah, I'm that kind of person.
Yay, it's why we're friends.
Yep.
Okay, so you have 2 good choices between you of places to go in this area to stay, and that would be the Shepherd's Crook and the Open Roof. And which would you like to look at first?
Shepherd's
Open
Crook
roof,
sounds
because I'm
nice.
curious
Oh,
as
right,
to
okay.
why, whether it actually has an open roof or not.
Okay.
Same.
The
admittedly.
open roof, when you come to it and view it and have a look around, is a welcoming little hotel for travellers. The open roof is run by a kindly old blind night person named Yaka, a woman who depends on the benevolence of her guests and the general goodwill of her neighbours. It costs nothing to stay at the open roof, but residents are asked not to remain for more than a week. Everyone is tasked with something during their stay, whether it be cleaning, mending the sheets and blankets, tending the gardens, or preparing food. The open roof consists of 2 buildings. The northern building is a longer single-story affair filled with bunk beds along the walls and small trunks to hold guests' possessions. The shorter building holds the kitchens and common room, as well as a second story where Yaka and her assistants live. The common room is dominated by 2 long trestle tables with benches where guests eat, gather, and converse. And it is on the top of the first building where the place gets its name, the Open Roof, where occasionally small parties are held on starry, clear nights.
Ah,
Ah.
that's kind of cool. But if we only can stay there a week, we kind of, I think, want to stay longer than that, don't we?
I think it would be nice to know. And at this point, my
Also,
brain's going
not
a bit
necessarily
quick.
great for the Ziska's horse.
Yeah.
Mm.
And
I
if we
don't know,
want
we
jobs,
only just got here, but
if we
I
want jobs,
don't
we
know,
don't necessarily want to be
working where
working
we're
for the
living.
yeah.
It's true.
It sounds. I mean, the lady sounds lovely,
Mhm.
and maybe we could come to a party here. But if we're looking for jobs that pay us,
Yeah.
if we're spending half our time looking after the place we're staying, I'm not sure that's really going to work.
It would be better to spend some money staying somewhere and have all the time.
Mm.
I think so. Let's
I
try the
think
Shepherd's Crook.
we
It
will
sounds
pass that
snuggly.
one by, I think.
Okay, so going over across the pasture to a larger area, and this area is definitely a place where a lot more animal activity, herding and movement of livestock goes on. Shepherds and goat herds from the nearby regions can be seen bringing their livestock to the city in small droves, and they all seem to look to pass through the Shepherd's Crook to make their rest. A large, comfortable inn, the Crook seems to serve simple country fare based on the same farmers' recipes that the couple who own it, Ifra and Zedge, enjoyed in their youth. Mutton seems to be the common staple of most meals on the menu, as is lamb, and you can smell a hearty, savoury stew bubbling away and filling the main living area with its aroma. Shepherds that can't afford the coin for a stay can always pay in either labour or livestock. Labour usually involves a few harder hours mucking out the stables or minding someone else's horses before being rewarded with a hot meal and a warm straw bed. However, patrons can also pay a modest amount for rooms and skip out on that work. The Crook is divided between the stables to the north and the actual inn housed in the western and southern parts of the building. The kitchen is large, extending all the way across the narrow connecting building, and the large hearth and stove spread heat throughout all three of the inn stories. There are 6 guest bedrooms on both the second and third floors, with a pair of small but comfortable beds in each. The stable haylofts double as a common room for those who can't afford a room of their own.
Awesome.
Sounds good.
The hype train just finished at level 2, by the way.
Oh, thank you, Hype Train.
Thank you, everybody.
Thank you, everybody.
Honestly, I'm kind of glad it stopped at level 2. I don't think my mind could not have coped with sort of back and forthing between things. But thank you, Hype Train. Thank you, Unique. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you, Unique. Should we get a room?
I think this sounds like a good place for our characters to get a room and to pay for it. Because it also, there's stables and plenty of people looking after the horses, so by the sounds of things. So
Okay, Ifra and Zedge are very happy to welcome you. Ifra is a Resian herself, and Zedge is a... What is Zedge? Zedge is a human.
it definitely sounds like a good place to stay then.
Yeah.
Just a general Aldean, I should say, not human. And yeah, they when you say that you're staying, they will ask you whether you want a paid room or whether you want to muck out the stables and help chip in for your stay. How are you planning on staying?
I think we're likely to get 2 paid rooms. Are we likely to? Or are we going to share one?
I think I think certainly while it's sort of like the 3 of us, if I think Ziska is quite easygoing.
Greymane, Marcus.
Oh,
Greymane.
yes,
I was
yeah.
just thinking Greymane and Marcus.
We need
Forgot
2
about that.
rooms then.
Yes.
Because we need a room for a boy.
That's true. Yeah.
And a wolf.
Yeah.
And a wolf.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Have to be
2
upfront
rooms
about
then.
it.
One for the girls and one for the boy and the wolf.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, they will take that. And how long roughly are you hoping to be with us?
We
Couple
don't
of weeks?
know. Maybe a couple of
No.
weeks.
Yeah.
We have enough money for a couple of weeks.
He will look through your money as part of the reason you don't actually know how much money you have at the moment is that none of you are local to Aldis, so you don't have a good idea of what your money is worth. But
Yeah.
he will confirm that you have enough to be going on to be there for about a month, while also having money to go into the city and buy a few modest little things for yourself. Obviously, if you go around to the high wards buying silks and laces, then you'll be out of cash sooner rather than later. But he reckons you've got enough to get by in Aldis on a modest budget for a month on that.
Okay.
Wow.
So this is cheaper than the town guard were obviously thinking when they gave us the money.
You did do a lot to help, and the Shepherd's Crook is, I think they were more expecting you to go to one of the more inner city inns. Like maybe there were several other places you could have gone on the inner city, which would have cost more and would have had you there less. But
I think we're happy here.
Yeah.
Okay, and Zedge will ask you for your names so that he can report it onto the census board. They do this just to make sure that people passing through the city are accounted for by the city guard, so that if any people go missing who are out of towners, they can still conduct proper investigations to find them. You are safer in the city by being known and present, etc., etc.
We will quite happily give our names then, I guess.
Yep.
Okay, fantastic. And
then
after
we will
that,
send Greymane to go get Marcus.
Yeah, Greymane will go and get Marcus.
Maybe
and
we'll suggest to Greymane that it's a good time to go and get Marcus. I don't think we really send Greymane anywhere.
That's a very good point. We're not really sending
Greymane will be eager to get to Marcus as soon as she's sure that you've decided on a place to stay. And she will recommend that the rest of you get some sleep while she goes and does that.
That sounds like a wonderful idea.
Would it be a good idea if she slept
a little bit
got some rest when she goes back to Marcus and then come on like the following day or something? Because she'll be as well by the time she gets there.
Yeah, that is a good idea too.
She needs sleep too.
Yeah.
And she's run around an awful lot.
Yeah.
Yeah. So you are more than welcome to do that. So Greymane will say yes to that and will go up to the farm and also make sure that everyone at the farm knows what's gone on, because only the guard have gone up so far. So Greymane can make sure that Faldin and the family know exactly what happened to Aaron and have a full account of things from someone who is there. So she'll stay up there for the night and will come to you in the morning, which means that you have probably around 16 hours to enjoy yourselves here before the next day.
I imagine
So
if it's already morning, we're going to sleep for most of the morning.
Yeah.
So
by this point, it's quite late morning by the time you've gotten here. So it's.
I suggest we sleep for a bit, then get dinner.
Sleep for a bit, then get dinner, and then have an evening, and then go back to bed again. It's kind of pretty much going to be our day, isn't it?
Yeah.
To try and get our body clocks round a bit.
I can fly around a bit and have a look, but only after I've slept.
So we're going to sleep, and then we'll probably be getting up a little bit before dinner time, around dinner time, and then have an evening exploring. And we might go to bed a bit later, but we're not going to be as late as we were the night before.
I think I'll when everyone settles down to go to sleep, I'm gonna fly around and just pop into the stables and make sure that Chala is being properly looked after.
Sorry, say that again.
Is Chala there? Did we ride it? Is she with us? I've forgotten.
Yeah, she's with us.
Yeah.
Chala is.
Sorry.
Chala is with you. Sorry.
I
think my mic cut out then, or something
we
cut
have
out.
horses from the farm.
Oh yes.
Yeah. So I'm just gonna.
We all have horses at the moment.
Pop in and very discreetly fly into the rafters and just make sure that the horses are being well looked after and that they're happy and so on.
Yeah, sure. And the couple, Ifra and Zedge, will notice this and be quite happy that you're there with a horse of your own. They will probably engage in conversation a fair bit, especially Ifra, who is from Rezia.
Definitely.
is there anything particular you want to talk about with her, or are you just going to let her chat?
Oh, well, I mean, Ziska's obviously aware that she's running her own business, so she won't want to be an inconvenience. But at the same time,
She might want news from home.
well, it's so like, you know, she's quite curious because she's aware that she's probably quite an unusual sight. So like if I will get her stories, like what's brought her to Aldous, because you know she's kind of grown up where you kind of stay put, you stay with the tribe, as it were. So like for her to be venturing out, she feels a little bit out of sorts. So to actually meet someone who's clearly
Already
gone and done
walked that
it,
path,
gone and
thing,
done
yeah.
it, it's like, you know, like how did she go about it? How did she always want to run her own place? How did she get into it? And if there was any way she could recommend for getting some decent work. You know, she'll probably just drop in that, you know, they've been helping one of the ambassadors, you know, just to see if that kind of gets any. So like the type of work, you know, for them, you know, she's got a little bit of an angle, but you know, it's because she doesn't need the money.
Well, if you get the impression just from looking at her, she is quite an elderly Resian now. Both her and Zedge are well into their 60s now, and she has shock white hair. Zedge has a sort of speckled salt and pepper thing going on, and the big clue that she is from Resia comes from the one side of her head, which is still shaved, completely bald on the one hand, but is otherwise quite long and hangs down over her left eye. Ifra will say that she came to Aldous originally because of Zedge, who was once a soldier in the Aldean army who she met during a diplomatic crossing into Resian territory, and she just couldn't leave him. They came back to Aldous together and started their place in the pasture. He quit the guard, seeing as she quit her home life. They found a way to both start something new together, and they've been here ever since.
Kanda's going to be very interested in the romantic element of their story because her goal is to find someone to be in love with too.
Oh.
So she's going to be like really touched by it and want to know more.
Okay. Ifra will happily tell you about the tale, which includes some very funny moments with Zedge when they were first caught. He was a man in heavy, bulky armor going around a camp of people who were always listening out for trouble on the night. When he was trying to sneak to her tent, she has recollections of how he sounded so loud and ponderous, going clink, 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 trying to sneak past her father's tent and never getting away with it. And when he did finally get away with it, she leans in and says, "It was only because I told my father that this was the man I intended to be with, and he had to let him in." But I still tell Zedge that he had finally worked out how to sneak past properly. So don't wound that for him.
Aww.
And yeah, they've been here ever since. She has very fond memories of working here. She's glad that she can still work with animals and found a way to mix the best parts of her life and his world together into one thing. The only thing that she is a little saddened by is that the years haven't granted them with children, and she pauses for a bit and gives a slight note of worry that they are struggling at the moment to decide what will happen to the shepherd's crook when they pass on. At the moment, she says, there has been some talk of who will inherit, and there's a few good people in the area who have already expressed interest. It feels a little strange to me that our home and our livelihood is already being picked over like vultures on a corpse. But at the same time, the crook we have become quite important. Although the palace doesn't recognize us and we're not on any tourist maps, we are the biggest hub for food and livestock coming through the city. So I guess on some level, it really is important what we choose for, or who we choose to inherit for Crook, because when we go, this place needs to carry on as it did before. It's a trouble, and we don't know quite how to do it, what to do with it yet. We've had a few interested buyers, some of them pushier than others, but we'll work it out eventually. And she'll look at you all then and appraise you, and you're still all. This is before you've had any time to sleep.
Yes.
Yeah. She'll say, but look, listen to me telling you my story when you all look like you're about to pass out. Away with you, all of you. Go up to your rooms now. I'll look after Charla here. She looks like a proud Resian beast, and I have not been able to connect with a horse from our plains in a long time. If you'll permit me, I would love to groom her and braid her in the traditional style, if you will, Ziska.
Aw. I think we've ended up in a perfect place.
Yes.
Yeah, as I said, that would be wonderful. Thank you so much, Ifra. And then I'll lean in and say, she's gonna have to leave for snacks. Just a bit, not too much, just a bit. Just so she thinks that she's got you under her skin, but going, just a little.
Ifra will smirk at the horse and go, will you now? Well, I know just how to deal with charmers like you, and give a playful pat, and then send you all off to bed.
Yeah.
I'm gonna look at the I believe there's a feather braided into Chala's mane somewhere, because I gave her a feather, and I'm gonna look at it, and and I don't know if I should say anything, but I'm gonna say, be careful of the feather, lady. Just that's our flock feather.
Ifra will sort of look to you. She doesn't even look back at the feather, and she just nods immediately and says, don't worry, I know a tribal talisman when I see one.
Aww.
And once again, we'll usher you up to your rooms. Kind of like a mother hen now. She is definitely ushering you all off to bed with threats and warnings. She'll probably get a ladle out soon if you don't
Okay.
obey and get some sleep.
We will go to sleep, I think.
Yeah,
I will ask
that's
Micah if
good.
Micah wants to sleep cuddled up near me. And promise not to
Yes.
wiggle too much.
Yeah, the wiggle's gone off. I'm just really tired now.
Yeah.
What was in that thing you gave me? My wings are drooping.
It's okay. I'll just stroke you gently. Go to sleep now. Time to sleep.
Mhm. I'm gonna curl up in against her chest and just pass out, basically.
I will
I
cuddle
think-
Micah.
I think Ziska's gonna just sprawl. I have space to sprawl. But you'll notice that she's deliberately still got her pole arm in her hand, just in case. So she's sprawling and go. But she's ready. If she needs to be, she's ready.
Okay.
Yeah, I'll make sure my
Time-
beak is facing away from Carenza.
Okay.
Yeah. First of all, if anyone has any wounds left over from last battles, please feel free to heal up now and return yourself to full strength.
Awesome.
I don't remember. Let's have a look.
I think Micah did get hurt in the last battle, so
Yeah, I think
Oh,
someone
thank
got
you.
hurt.
Micah.
Yeah,
Oh,
Micah,
yeah, I
you
got
got throttled. You almost died.
Didn't
Yeah.
Duratis use Galthi's salve on you?
Yeah,
Yeah.
my
Yes.
health is back up to full health.
Oh, I might even have said at the end of the last time, oh, everyone go back to full health because you'll be resting soon
Yeah.
after.
Yeah.
I might have just done that. Okay.
Wolf song.
Hi, Wolf Song. How are we doing?
Hey.
No worries.
Oh, no
But
worries
yeah.
for being late.
Yeah, I did lose
Thank you.
2/3 of my hit points, I think.
Oh,
That was
and
crazy.
hey as well, NYC Tanasa.
Nick Tanasa.
Nick,
Hi.
Nick Tanasa.
Ah.
Is
Hi,
that
Nick
how you
Tanasa.
pronounce it?
that is, I think we've seen Nick Tanasa, if we're pronouncing it right before. I don't think Nick Tanasa.
We
is
hope we're
right.
pronouncing it correctly. If we're not, let us know and we will try our best.
Yes.
Yeah, it's great. Conviction. It's called
Oh, yes.
conviction.
Can we have
Can we have
conviction or whatever it's called
conviction
for
for
all players and even the GM?
For the awesome
Yes,
story
yes,
and
you
role
can.
play.
Everyone,
Yay,
everyone
thank
give
you.
yourself some conviction.
Yay!
Thank you so much.
Anyway, so you sleep for a little bit, and after a good few hours, when you're in sort of like the 6th hour of your sleep. Would you like to make, and bearing in mind this is sleeping, so I am going to be putting some hidden deficits on this. Would you like to make perception checks in your sleep?
I've got 11.
I'd love to in my sleep.
I've got stun points. Oh, is
I
this
got
good?
four. I got 4 stun points in my
I
sleep.
got 13 and 2 stun points.
Do I actually perceive anything?
I have no idea.
Yeah, this is exploration, but obviously you're asleep. So I'm going to actually because you're asleep and you can't actively do anything, I'm just going to take your stunt points and add them to your score this time.
Right.
Okay.
Okay.
I think that's a fair way to use stunt points, because
Yeah,
you can't
okay.
actively choose to use your stunt points this way when you're
Okay.
asleep. So
13 then.
Carenza, you are
Fast asleep.
fast asleep, but Micah and Ziska, you hear a knocking on your room door after about 6 hours of sleep, and you wake up a little groggy. It's late in the afternoon now, and the sun is just starting to do its lower section of the sky, but it's still very much daytime. And you hear a slight knocking at the door.
I think sort of like out of habit, it's like this is sort of gonna sort of like run her hand through like a mohawk and just like to like help wake herself up, but she's still got the pole arm in her hand, so she's just gonna like pad over to the door.
I'm gonna look at the door and I'm maybe gonna go and I'm at least gonna kind of stand up and be prepared. Well, I'm not sure. I think I'm gonna go and hop up onto the window ledge so that I'm up a bit.
Yeah. So I think I'll sort of look at Micah and sort of like, like indicate watch. And then kind of like sort of like it's like pull the door open slightly just in case there's a cultist who has who wanted to come back for another pop. Although I'm hoping it's Greymane and Marcus.
No, because they're not coming till tomorrow. Now,
oh, tomorrow. Oh, yes.
Yeah. So what you get is Zedge at the door, Ifra's husband, and he comes there looking a little apologetic and says, "Sorry to disturb your sleep, but I was told to give this to you at once. It's as soon as I gave your names over to the local guardsman when he came round on his daily update to check for new arrivals. I told them your names, and he said he had a letter for you. So I was obliged to bring it up. I believe it's from Gravalian. Gravalian is one of the guard captains, lives up in the upper ward, responsible for the day-to-day policing of the city. Quite an honor to get a letter from so auspicious a person. Are you sure you people are just new to the city?"
I'm gonna take off.
Am I still asleep, or have I woken up at this point?
Yeah.
He's being respectfully quiet, so unless anyone else is waking you,
I'm gonna kind of fly over to have a look at this, and because I've never seen a letter before. I don't even know what it is.
Yeah,
so I'm going to say to Ziska, do you mind if I just take a liberty and just settle on your shoulder, Mo? What is a letter? What is that?
So you know how Duresis was helping you and Marcus learn how to read words?
Yes.
Yeah. So a letter is it's sending a message using words, so the person can live a long way away and they send a written message called a letter, and they send it to a different place for someone else to read it, to tell them what they need to know.
That can go even further than we can talk in our minds.
Yes.
Wow, that looks really useful. What does it say?
I'll let you know when I've read it. We probably ought to let Carenza know as well. But I'll thank Zedge and explain. No, we are new. It could be perhaps because we've been working with one of the local ambassadors. Perhaps that's caught his attention.
I'll say thank you, Lord, and then I'm going to drop down to Carenza and just brush my wing feathers very gently over her face to wake her up.
Aw.
Oh,
I will wake up very pleased with the way I have been woken, though still quite groggy and tired.
Yeah.
Mm. There's a letter. We've got a
Oh.
letter. It's words.
A
It's
letter.
words on paper.
Mm. I will get really excited at that. We've got a
Yeah.
letter already. Who's it from? Who's it from? Who's it from?
Yeah, it's apparently from
One of the
a
guards.
chap called Gravalian. He's apparently meant to be one of the higher uppers in this place. So I've
Ooh.
got no idea what he wants, but being as he sent us an official letter, thought you might want to know.
I'll be very excited to open it up and read it then.
Okay, so we
I'm
open
going
the
to
letter.
settle on
We open the
Lorenza's
letter.
shoulder.
okay. Passing through a lot of text that most of it seems rather unnecessary and overdrawn, but Gravalian, you get the impression, is a very charismatic lord as well as a captain for the district's defences, and word has very quickly reached his ear this morning of newcomers to the city who helped save a boy from the cult of the Crimson Eye and also tangled with the Silence. He is impressed and has also heard things about how you handled the case. In particular, he's heard good things about a certain Rye Raven called Micah, who you might remember had, oh, what's the name of it? I forget the name of this thing that you had.
Oh, the
Exciting opportunities.
yeah.
Ah,
This is-
that's
this
how
is
it's made
Micah's
its way out.
exciting
It talks about me.
opportunity.
It talks about me.
This could, well, you don't know for
Okay.
sure, but this could be part of Micah's exciting opportunity.
Ooh, nice.
Yes, so he's
Another
heard.
unique redeemed inspiration. Who are you
Um,
giving it to? Another
Thank
unique-
you. And he said, thank you, inspiration. Thank you, another unique.
Thank you, inspiration, for another unique.
Like Micah, I'm a little tired right now.
Oh, bless.
Who would you like to give inspiration to?
A while to respond, I think.
We'll carry on. I'm sure unique
All
will
on
tell us.
tenterhooks.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If not, we'll randomly assign it in a little bit.
Yeah.
Oh,
Who
who
can
can
use
use
it
it
most?
most?
Well, I've got 14 conviction. So if
So
someone
have I.
has less than that,
So have I.
I've got 9.
Okay, give it
Oh,
to
go
Micah
on,
then.
Micah.
Give
Well,
it to
I tell
Micah
you
then.
what, this might be spoiling a little bit, but someone else is coming into this later today who hasn't got any
Oh.
conviction yet.
Oh yeah, okay. Let's
Yes,
save
we
it.
can-
for-
Just throwing it out there. Maybe
that
we
can
could.
be their welcome present. Say, hey, have this. You might
Yes.
need it later.
Yes.
Let's
Yeah.
do that then.
Yeah, we'll leave it for later until our other person arrives. So anyway, the letter basically, once you cut all the gumph and finery out of it, is inviting you to a party.
Ooh,
Party.
a party?
Yes, it will be a party which will be held in the upper city in 2 days' time, where Gravalian is excited to meet you and hear about who you are, where you've come from, how you've helped the city, and also having heard from his guards about how you've come in a kind of disparate way to the city without much going for you. He wants to extend a hope that he can help you in getting places of your own in the city, finding work, and he just basically wants to make sure that you are all right, by the way the letter sounds.
Wow.
Guys,
I-
what's a party?
It's when lots of people gather in one place and they celebrate something, and there's usually lots of food and lots of
Ooh.
nice drinks and sometimes dancing, and you have to wear certain clothes. So do we have the right clothes for a party?
I don't have clothes.
Well, it's all right. No,
Mm.
you
You're
don't.
fine.
You don't
No,
have to
you
buy.
don't. Not for the higher wards, but and Cavenza, you would know. Even though you grew up in a monastery, you'd know enough about fashion to know that you'd probably
We
need to buy
don't
new
have
clothes
the right
for.
clothes for a party. We need to go clothes shopping. Well, me and Ziska do.
Am I allowed to go to the party if I can't wear clothes?
Yeah, you don't need clothes because you're a raven.
Oh, good.
But we could find you something pretty if you wanted to wear something. We can get you a little cape or something.
Can I wear something shiny?
We could get you a shiny cape.
What about like a little? No, that'd be like a collar. I would like jewelry. I've heard about jewelry. It's shiny.
We could get like a little ring for your ankle, maybe.
Yes, that would be fabulous.
There
Awesome.
will be plenty of jewelry for Rye of all kinds in the city.
Oh,
The
that's intriguing.
Metropolis has places which deal in fashion for all sorts, so you will be able to get something glamorous for Micah to wear.
I sent some fan art
Yay,
coming on it.
blown. Oh my gosh.
Yeah,
I think
if anyone wants to draw fan art of Micah in a fancy outfit, I am more than up for seeing
Yeah.
that.
That would be amazing.
But
I
anyway,
now want to see Micah in a top hat.
Oh,
A
yeah.
raven
And a
with
cape,
top hat
like
and a
proper,
cape,
like a little cane in their beak.
like a magician
Oh,
type.
no, I was thinking more
style.
Fred Astaire.
Oh,
That's
okay.
okay.
Yeah, no, that would work too. That would
Oh,
work too.
yeah. I might need to manage to attach the cane to my wing somehow,
Hmm.
because otherwise I can't
Nick
necessarily.
Tanasa is also
Although
saying go
melee
for the cape.
weapons, I've only had been able to bite and claw people so far, and now I can stab them with my.
Can pop
well,
them.
so far
pop
chat
them.
is all behind the little cape, so
Yeah.
you definitely need to go shopping later for a little cape, I
Okay,
think.
yeah.
Chat has spoken.
A sparkly cape.
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, however, the reading of the letter takes a while, mostly because of all the extra
Yeah.
niceties that are being put into it and politeness. And
Yes.
it isn't too long before you get another knock at the door shortly after you finished reading the letter.
Oh,
At some point
Uh.
during this, I'm going to have said to Karenza and Ziska, like, you know what? Learning to read, I'm not sure it's a good idea if you end up having to. This is a lot of words.
Yes, I was thinking that perhaps this man would get on well with Doretis.
This is more words than normal. This is, yes.
Oh,
This
good.
letter was clearly meant for Doretis, not us.
Right.
It's his kind of level of words.
Monocle.
Oh,
Monocle.
oh,
That would be
wow.
epic.
That is something.
Okay, there's definitely fan art coming
Karen's is
out of
also
this.
going to be getting slightly hungry at this point because we've missed lunch.
Oh yeah, food.
But anyway, knock at the door.
Yes, I will return to the door, still with my pole arm in hand, because you couldn't be too sure. Can't guarantee it's going to be another fun letter.
Okay, you open the door and Zedge appears again, looking a little more irritated now at having just come up. And he goes, I'm really sorry to bother you again a second time, but shortly after the first guard came with a letter, someone else appeared with something for you, this time a message stone of all things. Really hard to come by these things and all. And he passes it over to you and says, don't know how you guys have made so many friends coming to the city new like this, but it seems you're very popular. Do you mind if anything else comes for you after this? Do you want me to just leave it downstairs?
We'll get it
Yeah.
at dinner time. Actually,
Yeah.
could we have dinner? Could we have dinner? Can we have
Oh
dinner?
yeah, food is always on. I'll get some stew and served up for you, and when you're ready you can come down. He'll give you the message stone and then he'll head on his way with the promise of food waiting for you downstairs when Poseworth!
Poseworth!
Hey!
Oh, Brian, dude, we just got a message stone. We don't know how it works, but it sounds very exciting.
And we got
Yeah,
a letter, we got invited to a party.
Yeah, with a
posh
letter that
party.
really you probably would have really loved to read.
Yeah.
It was definitely a Doretis letter.
It was
Apparently.
very loquacious, as they would say.
How are you?
Yeah, how are you doing, Pose?
Evidently, 3 words was as much as we got just then.
Sorry.
I'm sure
This is
Poseworth
the
will
Poseworth current limit for message.
get a bit more in, but
He
we'll...
is high on drugs and has only just, I think it's like 24 hours since surgery was over. It's
Well,
not
thank
very
you for
long,
logging
so-
in,
Yeah.
dude. That was
Yes.
very lovely
Yay,
to see you
thank
logged
you.
on.
Yeah, we've got a woohoo.
Woo!
Yeah.
Yeah, I think
Enjoy
I'm
those
not,
drugs.
yeah, I'm not sure whether Ziska would necessarily have seen a message stone before, so she might just have to like ask that is there anything we need to know
I'm
about
not dead yet.
this? Always good to be able to say
Yeah.
that.
I'm gonna kind of peck at the message stone and be like, how does this work? Then what?
Yeah, how
what's
does it
this?
work, Gia? How does it work? Is it literally just
right,
carved into the
so-
stone?
Friends know how to work
Friends
a
know
message
how it
stone as
works.
well.
So Zedge will tell you that to activate a message stone, what you need to do is just speak your name to it, and if you are the intended recipient, it should open up a direct channel to whoever wants to talk to you, and it will be a live chat, as it were.
Oh my
Ooh.
goodness! Right, I think because it seems like a little bit magic. I think Ziska would just be like,
Hand it to Grenza.
yeah, so like, could you? It's probably for you.
All right, I will take it and go, Carenza?
Okay, before we find out who is on the other end of the Helloa Stone, shall we
Time
take
for
a break?
Yes.
Yes, have a break.
And Postworth has
Wow.
just said, had to check in on you, you just had my drugs. I have heard that you now have the good stuff on tap or on button.
Yeah, I'm so glad you're here, Posworth. It's good to know that
Yeah,
you're
it's
okay.
lovely to see you.
Thank you for
As it
finding the
were.
time to check in on us.
Yes.
Now
We're
make sure
trying
you
to
rest
behave.
enough. Behave yourself.
Yes.
No
So
doing
that we
things you
can
shouldn't.
see you back here
Yes.
at some point in the not so terribly distant future.
Yes.
And we'll try not to, embarrass you when we go to this party.
Mike is
Well,
totally
his
going to
character might
embarrass
be
you.
back by the time it gets to the party because it's 2 days away.
Yes. Well, at the pace we go, it might not happen until another 2
I
I
mean,
mean,
Directors
we
will be
have
back.
just managed to put an hour and a half in. This is what I love about open roleplay like Blue Rose. We've just spent an hour and a half having breakfast, wandering the city, and choosing an inn to stay at.
And
And
sleeping.
getting a letter and talking about how to make the Raven fancy for the party.
Yes,
Yes.
and
And the
discussing
message
party
phone.
games.
Hmm.
But the weird thing about it, I was saying about this to Jess earlier. This is one of the sort of back end things of DMing an open role play, which I have a real love-hate relationship with. You've chosen the place you stay at now. I had 6 other places lined up with plot stuff for if you stayed at other places, and now that stuff is just gone. It's just out the window.
Sorry.
I know, but it's one of the things I love about it. It's one of the things I love about this format of sort of city role play and sort of open role play is that your every choice affects what kind of missions you could get into, the people you're going to meet, stuff like that. Like you've definitely got hints of new missions here from the Shepherd's Crook, but you've definitely missed out on things other places now. And it's sort of,
Okay.
I don't know, I always find that stuff just fun.
That's
But anyway,
life.
I am going to get myself a drink now and check
Okay.
that everything is okay in the other
Interval
room.
time.
I am going to get ready for floof time.
Oh yes, floof
time.
Floof time.
Floof. Anything else going on? It's just you and me now.
Well,
Hold the fort for a moment.
yeah, we can hold the fort. Don't worry.
Brian has said, I'm like a minute behind what you're doing. And then Bear's replied, other painkillers, what mess making time go slowly. Wibbly wobbly timey wimey.
Yes. Oh, there's a
Yeah.
very sleepy floof giving me an accusing look.
Well, have you woken him up? Does he not want to play the treat game?
I think he's expecting the treat game, but of course
Okay.
the treats have not yet materialized, and he's
Oh, we've got a grumpy floof. I'm bored of waiting for the treats. Hi, Jake. It's Auntie Jess. Hi, Jake.
Yes.
Hi.
Yeah.
You're getting ear twitches.
He does look very sleepy, doesn't he?
Yeah.
Oh, you
Sleepy
boy.
floof.
Oh, would you like some yummies? Would that wake you up a bit?
Oh,
look
there we
how
go.
There we go. There we go.
That was the right question to ask. We have attention.
Gently.
Oh, Bear's given bits and said 88-bit treats for floof.
We really need to work out some. Oh, sorry, baby. We need to work out some kind of exchange system for redeeming treats, don't we?
Do. Brian's just said I'm getting sleepy again. Go sleep, rest well, and we
This
will
one's for
we will
Posworth.
see you on
Oh,
another stream.
Yeah, this one's for Posworth. Getting good
Take
sleep.
care of yourself. Don't do
Yeah,
anything
get better
stupid.
soon. Sleep well.
Do what the doctors say.
This one's for
Enjoy the
lovely me.
drugs.
That's a good boy. Yeah. Boy. This one is for Nictasa. Okay. Gently. Gently.
No.
Good boy.
He's the
Good
bestest boy.
Who else?
Bestest
Oh yeah,
floof.
GSD
Media, who doesn't seem to be able to talk
obviously.
to us, unfortunately.
Yes, well, in which case, gently. GSD Media 1. And I'm going to do GSD Media 2.
Love you too, Brian.
Gently. Love you. We're going to do one for Auntie Jess. Gently. 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 Good boy. Good, gently. Well done. His ears are just so huge. Look at these ears. I love these ears. Okay. One for Bear. Gently. Gently. Good boy.
He's a very cute floof.
He is. He's lovely. And this is one for the absent but not forgotten Puddlebutt. Oh. On your butt fluff. That's a good boy.
That's kind of vaguely appropriate that the
Yes.
Puddlebutt's tree ended up on the
Yes.
butt briefly
It
along the
was,
way.
it was.
I think Puddlebutts would have found that funny.
This one is for Greymane. Gently. Gently. Good boy. Oh, that was so gentle. Good boy, Cheeky. Thank you, Nick Tasser. Here's another one for Nick Tasser. Commenting, saying hi. Gently. There's a good boy. There's a good boy. Couple more, and then you can go back to sleep. How's that? Okay.
More treats, always more treats.
Yeah. Right. Gently. Gently. Good boy. Oh, you're so good. Yeah, we had to work quite hard on this because he'd get very enthusiastic.
Yeah, Barry just pointed out we have lots of pictures of Floof
Yes.
in our Floof channel on the Discord.
In some of them looking absolutely monstrously massive,
yes.
but apparently that is actually accurate. They're just, to me.
He is a very, very large Floof. He is,
Gently.
when I'm sat down next to him,
Mini
his
floof.
head is above mine. Oh, a little
Mini
Floof.
It's a
floof.
mini floof.
Mini
We're
Floof.
having a floof off.
It's a floof off.
Gently.
Extra Floofs.
Say hello, Teddy.
Oh, good Teddy.
Yeah.
I think every single Bichon in the world is called Teddy.
Yeah.
Most seriously, there's several Bichons in Capillion. As far as I'm aware, they're all called Teddy.
Gently.
I think it's just the most natural name to call one of these.
Yeah. it's
My
like a great
stepmother
big
had
fluffy
one and
teddy.
it wasn't called Teddy, but I can't remember its actual name. So
Flooftastic. Yeah, another unique just said it's flooftastic. It is flooftastic.
Yeah. And Bear mentioned his cat is about the size of Jake's skull.
Yeah.
Okay.
There
Last
we go.
one.
Down you go, Teddy. I know you don't like me.
Last one.
There we go.
Gently.
I'm gonna finish making my coffee.
Gently. Gently. Good boy. There's a good boy. Well done. That's it. No more. No more.
No more. All gone.
Yep. Me closing up the bag. Oh, it's so exhausting getting given treats, isn't it?
It's exhausting being on camera, mummy.
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
There are
Another
still quite a
floofless
few
trying
left
to
in the
kill.
bag, and I don't want to. Yeah, I don't want him to end up having the whole bag.
That is
He's
fair
starting
enough.
to get the hang now of the thing that when I say we're done, we're done.
Done. I was about to think, is there anything else people want to talk about?
You've got a book. Something's happening with Mycroft today?
Oh yes. Mycroft 1 is free today. Find a
Yeah.
link.
And that's what, a 9-book series?
It's the first. Well, it's 10-book series now. Book 10 is going to be out on December the 4th.
Ah, there you go.
I've literally just commissioned the cover for Mycroft 10.
So pick
and
up
it
the
is
first
now
book for
bit-
free, and
Let
then
me find the link
you've
to the
got
first one.
9 other books to binge your way through.
Yeah, there
The
it
next,
is.
well, 8, and then the 9th one coming out.
Yeah, so this is, I wrote a series about Mycroft Holmes rather than Sherlock Holmes. And that one's free. The first one's free today, and it's having a bit of a promotion thingy. Yeah, and there are nine currently out, and the 10th will be out December the 4th. Which is a long time coming because I realized that number 1 came out 7.5 years ago.
Oh, wow.
And then 6. I got up to 6 fairly quickly, and then there was a gap when I had kids, and then 3 more came out, and then there's been another gap because I thought the series was done, and then I had a discussion with you, Anne-Marie, about one of your friends who was a fan,
Yep.
and you said one thing, and I was like, I've had an idea for another 12 books, so there's going to be another. There's going to be 21
So
of them.
what
by
you're
the time I'm
saying is
done.
it's all my fault.
All your friends' fault. One of the two of you. But there will now be potentially either 18 to 21 of them,
Yeah.
somewhere between there.
Wow.
By the time I'm actually done, they're shorter. They're like half length novels, like the similar length to the longer original Sherlock stories. Were about 30,000 words long, and that's what I've tried to emulate, but about Mycroft rather than Sherlock.
Interesting.
Right, are we good to continue now?
We are, yes.
Yes,
we can carry
please.
on.
Okay. So you were
Message
just
stone.
activating a message stone, and
Yes,
as
another
you
unique. You can get more books.
You can always get more books.
It's Hypey. Hypey's on the other end.
the millipede is due a showing, but unfortunately, I don't think Mikey yet knows how to manipulate message stones. No, you open it up, and a face, sort of ghostly and ethereal. The stone is kind of flat and discus-like, and a sort of light emanates from it, creating the illusion of a face. And you realize that the person on the other end of this call is another Rye. In particular, this Rye happens to be a bear.
Ooh.
What?
It's
Hello.
Actual
An
bear.
actual
Bear
bear.
is being a bear.
A bear.
Yes,
It's
That was
bear
quite
with a
an
bear.
entrance.
It's bear with a bear playing a bear.
I just need to put my name up. Sorry, tech as well.
That's so cool.
And now because Bear's
I'm
getting
gonna
ready.
be a bit like, hi, a bear.
Hello, yes, I'm a bear. My name is Arthjan.
Hi.
Hello, is that Kerenz I'm speaking to?
Yeah,
Yeah,
I think so.
I've heard a lot about you. Who else is with you?
here.
Ziska and Micah.
Just gonna leave my
Doretis
head in.
is doing
Yeah.
paperwork, which I think he does better than we do.
Mm.
I can't
Welcome
read
to it.
yet.
That's perfect. Well, I should introduce myself. I'm Arthjan. Sorry, that's the player struggling with my own name. And I'm part of the Sovereign's Finest. You may have heard of us.
Ziska's very excited at this point. She knows about the Sovereign's Finest.
Oh, well, would Ziska like to tell people who... I was literally about to interject them because I wasn't sure.
well,
people know.
yeah, I hope it's something that I remember. No, you explain it because I'm
No.
feeling like
I love how much you've read about the Blue Rose and sort of all the stuff you've learned. Like, you have learned the lore so well and so extensively. I just like showing it off. So if you want to, you go for it. I'll tell you if there's anything you've missed, but you go for it.
Right,
honestly.
okay. Now, what Ziska knows is from like tales that her own people have like told, and things that other people have told her as she's like traveled around. Ziska's understanding is that these are meant to be like the best of the best of the best that's trusted by the crown, and in particular, if I remember rightly, please correct me if I'm wrong, esteemed GM, they are commissioned to like go and do like raids in the, I've forgotten the name, but in Kern. So to like rescue like, you know, refugees, people trying to escape from Kern, and to bring them to safety. So this is why she's like really excited, because this is something she actually wants to get in on. So she's like, I've been in all this less than 24 hours and I'm already speaking to someone the Sovereign's Finest. But she's also trying to keep it really cool, but she's also like super excited because she's still quite young. So it's like, oh my God.
And yeah, that is a really good roundabout of who the Sovereign's Finest are. They are the most elite of Aldous' protectors, the first and last line of defense, given sweeping freedoms to do their own investigations and follow their own path by the crown and committed to its defense. This means that they're not involved with normal law enforcement in any way, but they are upheld as sort of the pinnacles of all of Aldis, save for the Queen herself. To talk to one is a real privilege and honor. And aside from Micah, who is still new to the world, Carenza, even you would have heard of the Sovereign's Finest out in
Okay.
Jarzon, because they are sort of almost Arthurian level in terms of their
Okay.
importance.
Awesome. At that point, I will probably be slightly intimidated and try and give the messenger stone to Ziska.
Okay. Ziska she will happily accept it. She's like drinking it in. It's like, I'm talking to a right there, and it's the Sovereign's Finest, and it's all very exciting. Am I going on a mission? She's very excited. Smiling at this
I've never seen Ziska so excited, so I find this quite awesome, because if Ziska's excited, then clearly this is very exciting. So I'm getting excited, even though I have no idea why we're getting excited.
No.
But I'm super excited for her.
This is
because she's
exciting.
obviously excited.
Yeah.
So I'm bouncing slightly.
We've lost our
On,
DM.
Yeah.
GM
dear.
has just wandered off.
Oh, no.
Sorry. My cat was on top of our highest bookshelf, on
Oh.
top of our wedding album, and leaning the wedding album over
Very
180
precariously.
degrees to the point of near falling. So I was just watching it with trepidation, going, "You're gonna fall. You're gonna fall." And then she didn't, but the wedding album was still hanging at a very
Yeah.
wrong angle. So I was like, "I'm just gonna deal with that now."
Okay.
Fair enough. Okay. Please continue. Oh, esteemed Rye. We are listening.
Ah, excellent. We are. Well, I've been investigating a few things, and you've heard of the Silence.
Yes, we had a little bit of a run-in with them.
Good. We might need. I would like to explain more, but I can't speak over this stone message. It's not secure. I suggest we meet up somewhere. Would you be willing to go on a mission for me?
Yes. Yes. Like I don't even look at the others. I'm just like, yes. That
I
sounds
guess
good.
that would be a yes then.
Yeah. Cool.
Okay.
Excellent.
Where do we meet? And when do we meet?
When do we meet? I'm not sure. I haven't got it written down.
We have dinner first.
Well, we are still waiting for 2 members of our party. Remember,
yes.
so we shouldn't.
Although
really
I
leave
don't think
until
we should
tomorrow.
we should put Marcus and Greymane in any more danger.
But we'd need to wait to let them know where we've gone.
We could leave a message with
We could,
Yeah.
but we literally haven't seen Marcus in days, and I kind of like to see
You've
the
seen him
plot
in
again.
the last 24 hours. You've definitely seen him in the last 24 hours because most of what happened took place last night.
We just
Oh,
doing
right,
it.
Okay. He's young, and you're meant to look after the young ones of the flock and not just wander off again. I would love to do the mission, but I just think we should wait until he gets here.
well, it depends if the mission is time critical.
Okay.
But
We
can we
can-
have dinner first? Do we have time for dinner first?
I think. Please excuse we've got a couple of practicalities, esteemed Rye, as you can appreciate.
To be honest,
we
I
are new.
probably said all of this psychically. So.
Oh right, okay.
yeah.
So it's like we've got a couple of practical things that we need to take care of because we've been in the city less than 24 hours. We are meant to be rendezvousing with wards of ours, and we need to make sure that they are safe and settled here before we can really come and leave them to their own devices, as it were. Could we still have an audience to find out the details, or is time of the essence?
Would you be able to meet me tomorrow afternoon?
Yes.
Oh,
Yes.
yes.
That would be perfect.
That would suit us very well.
So meet me at the Muddy Maid tomorrow afternoon, and
The
I'll explain more.
Muddy Maid. Okay.
Where would we find the Muddy Maid, please? As I said, we're very new. Which ward is that in?
You should be able to find it quite easily if you ask around.
Okay.
Specifically ask the GM.
Nice dodge. I was literally about to message you the same thing. I was literally just typing onto my phone. Tell them to ask directions.
Okay. Nice.
Yeah.
Okay, ask directions.
It is a well-known. Is it a tavern?
In
Sounds it.
Waffle.
Brothel. It's a well-known brothel, but you should be able. Many people know of it.
Okay, that's a new one.
Yeah.
So we've been invited to a really high-level party and a brothel.
Well, I'm sure the silence can't hear us there.
Okay.
Okay. We'll
I
talk about it
wasn't-
when we're off the call, Micah.
Yeah, I was gonna say, I'll tell you about that one later, Mike.
Okay, is there anything else, or is this themed right, or shall we just see you tomorrow?
I think it's best to leave until tomorrow now.
Okay.
Thank you. I don't
And
know how to read this.
How do we hang up?
And with that, Arfgen will disappear, and the stone that you're holding grows inert and basically turns into just a normal rock.
I will ask Micah if she'd like to keep it.
For the horde. You're on mute, Lovely.
How shiny is this rock?
It's now just a rock. Now it's been used for its purpose, it's just a stone.
But how shiny is it?
It's just a normal grey rock.
Is it iridescent?
If you were to wash it and polish it, you might be able to get it to a slightly grey shine, but it is otherwise just a rock now.
Okay.
You know what? Well, I can't carry it, and I
That's
wouldn't
true.
want you to carry it. So if you're
We could
okay
leave it.
with
We could leave it
carrying
in our room on the windowsill and make it feel like it's our room.
we could do that. Yes, we can do that. Please, that would be
Okay.
lovely. Thank you.
I will do that. I will pop it on the very center of the windowsill, kind of in the sun.
And then it's going to get nice and warm, and I can snuggle on it in the afternoons.
So, with that message, what would you like to do now? You've pretty much all rested up now. You've only lost about an hour of the sleep you were otherwise going to have by the interruptions.
Dinner.
So dinner.
Yes, absolutely. I think those two messages have certainly given us a lot to think about, and thinking is helped by food.
Okay, yeah, you go down to dinner, and Zedge is there, and he's already got your stews ready for you with some hearty bread as well, and is eager to know if he can help with anything now that you're all rested up. Is there anywhere you want to go? Is there anything you need to know about the city? They're eager to help.
We need to go
Terenza will
shopping for this
Blurt
party.
out the fact that we need to go shopping for a party, and that we need to find the Muddy Maid, and that I don't.
They are not the same.
They're not for the same
Not the
reason,
same.
and be very specific to say that we're only going to the Muddy Maid to meet someone important who doesn't want to be overheard.
Yes.
And then I'm gonna say, and what's a brothel? And I'm gonna say it out loud this time because no one's telling me what a brothel is.
I'm just going to stroke Micah again. It's a place where people sell themselves in ways that aren't always accepted.
Like a
Oh no! Zed shakes his head vehemently on that. That might be the way of it in Jarzon where you are, but the brothels here in Aldis, well, they're more companion houses, and it's considered a very high art and vocation to be a part of one. No one sells their bodies here in the way that they do so crudely out in Kern. Here, a brothel, if you want to call it that, is a place where people can seek companionship, and a lot of it is in the form of song, conversation. Physical needs and desires can be permitted within it, but that also depends very much on the consent and willingness of the person you are with in general, and never something that you just actually expect to happen, although many of the people who are involved in the companion houses do enjoy the pleasurable arts and do not mind sharing that gift either. You'll find Aldous is a very, very open and understanding place when it comes to that kind of thing. But if you're thinking that a brothel is just some dark, dank place where some poor slave girl is made to tend to the whims of high lords, then we're not Kern. We're not Kern or any place such as that.
Okay.
The brothels sound quite nice. Do they
Quite
have
possibly.
Do they have riding in brothels?
Oh yes, this is Aldous. Anyone can go anywhere. You said particularly the Muddy Maid was where you wanted to go.
Yes.
That's where
Oh, great place for Maid. It's a very, very new place. It used to be a potter's workshop, and it's built around, well, how do I explain it? It's got a sort of therapeutic mud bath, which was left over from the potters. The whole place is built on this sort of hot kind of slurry area, and they take the hot clay and they now use it as part of these therapeutic baths. It's wonderful, wonderful stuff. And the added elements of having companions who can talk to you, who can pamper you, who can sing, chat. It's a very nice and relaxing place to be.
Okay.
Excuse me, I have to snuggle my wolf. He's being demanding.
Oh, snuggle away, snuggle away.
Okay. I think Ziska is potentially, I mean, she's kind of traveled around a bit, so she's kind of seen some things, but I think she's probably a little bit more on edge about this well-to-do affair than she is about this, well, perhaps on different ways kind of thing, you know. She's like, you know, it's like the nature of the reason why we're going to the Muddy Maid. Like, she's like, oh gosh, you don't want to look like an idiot, that sort of thing. But I think she's probably going to make a point of going across to Ifra and sort of like explain kind of thing, you know, that we'd received this invitation. So like, I want somewhere where I can have an outfit and still take my polearm or something helpful should we need it. If it can't be functional, I'm not interested. Do you know of anywhere that's going to be able to incorporate some sort of Resian bits and some functional bits and pockets? Pockets are always helpful. I can't be dealing with a flowy dress that's I can't move around in. Can you help me, Ifra? Do you know of anywhere where I might be able to find a dress, or am I asking for too much?
Sort of chews the corner of her lip for a moment and sizes you up and down as almost as though she were a tailor of some kind and trying to work something out, and says, yeah, you know what, I think I can find you something that will suit a proud Resian perfectly. And she'll just then instantly say, come with me, and reach out a sort of old, slightly withered hand over to you, but still very strong, and just offer to pull you away.
Okay. I'm gonna sort of like call across to Karenza and Micah and say, I'm just gonna have a chat with Ifra about this party thing that we've been invited to. I'll be back soon. Just so they don't think I've just done a lagger for no apparent reason.
Right. We'll carry on with you first, Ziska, because...
Okay.
Yeah, we'll carry on with you first. Ifra at first seems to be leading you towards the doors, and you might expect that she is going to lead you to a marketplace, but then you take a set of stairs up through the Shepherd's Crook and up higher until you get to the top level, which is reserved for her and Zedge and their room. She invites you inside, and you take a seat at the foot of her bed as she goes through an old footlocker, and eventually she finds, among other clutter which she throws out on the floor, she eventually finds this gown, which is a remarkable piece of inter-country magic. It looks slightly Aldean in its design, but it has definite and purposeful Resian influences with it as well. So rather than the dress having fancy sequins or buttons, it has little bits of animal chitin and bone put in, giving a rather tough look. There's elements of leather on certain places which give it an almost armor-like quality, and yet somehow it still has the sort of pomp and circumstance that would be expected to be seen in Aldean high society. And Ifra will look at you again, holding it up, first to herself and then to you, and she sort of grimaces a bit and goes, "I've shrunk a little in my old age, haven't I? But I think this will fit you rather perfectly, and should be acceptable to those namby-pambies up in the High Ward."
Ziska will snort in laughter at that. But she's also quite touched that Ifra would actually offer something from her own clothing collection, as it were, to offer it to her. So like, are you sure? This looks like it's clearly meant something to you if you've kept it all these years.
Oh, of course it meant something to me. I was married in this thing. But she can see where you might take a worry about taking her wedding gown. She says, "We Resians, we need to show ourselves to this city and let people know who we are. And for a sea folk Resian like yourself, who might be mistaken for being from somewhere else, I know how important it is that you'll want to show your roots properly. And I guarantee you're not going to find anything in the markets that will even come close to true Resian beauty and culture. Believe me, this dress is the one you want to wear to that party, and I'd be honoured for people of the High City to see another Resian there and what we are capable of, and the way we can steal a show when we wish."
Lovely. I think she'd like, would you like me to try it on now, or are you just happy for me to take it back to the room?
She is probably going to want you to try it on. This is her wedding gown. It hasn't been used in a long time, and she would like to see the kind of image you would look in it. You can tell she's very proud of her culture and heritage, where she comes from. She's going to want to see how good you will look when you go and wow the higher ups of the city.
Okay, alrighty then. Well, I think because in Resian culture, I imagine it's very community based. You just get on with things and like, well, she's another lady. She's same background as me, similarly, kind of like, so she's just going to get changed and kind of like put it on, trying to be careful that she doesn't blunder and damage any of the material. And then she's just going to make a point of standing in quite a strong pose, like you're going to walk into a room, so like I've got nothing to fear from you people, kind of thing. This is me, and you either like it or that's your problem.
Ifra will be very pleased with the look you're cutting, and even sort of as she looks at you, she'll sort of even tilt your chin up a little higher still and just say, "People in Aldis really like to wear their chins high to show that they're looking down on people. The higher the chin, the more proud you are of where you come from. As for your pole arm, well, they won't stop a true Resian from wielding their weapons even at a party, but I'm sure we can make them view it in a better light if maybe we take some flowers from the market stall, garland them around the top here, maybe a little in the middle there, and some vines." And you can tell she's really sort of thinking about how she's going to dress you up. She even starts talking about how she's going to do your hair, which will have, in her mind, a kind of fancy Aldean updo, but again with more sort of bone chitin and sort of darker copper metals holding the updo together than the sort of fancy gold and silvers and diamonds which are seen in the Aldeans.
Absolutely. That sounds great. I think it's just it's good for the planet as well. Recycling, clothes recycling, So so I think because I don't think Ziska was really looking forward to traipsing around lots of shops for herself. She's like, well, if I'm sorted, as it were, then hopefully I can be a bit more constructive, helping Carenza out if she's not quite sure what she wants.
Well, you certainly get the sense from Ifra as she's planning your look from the evening. She certainly seems excited to be doing this for you, and B, you're probably going to hurt her feelings if you refuse her now.
Oh, well, no, and it's I think it's just nice. I think for considering like Ziska's known Ifra for a matter of hours, to actually have a sense of belonging and a sense of wider community, that it doesn't matter that she hasn't necessarily been into Resia for a long time, because her life has been built here, but that you can't take the Resian out of you, as it were. The pride in the culture, like the roots are still there, and to have someone who gets it, and doesn't it doesn't matter that that the Ziska is mixed heritage and she's got heritage from elsewhere. They've still got this part of a shared identity, and that can be celebrated at this occasion. So Ziska's very comfortable, and she's happy to sit and chat, and she feels very comfortable in Ifra's company. Yeah,
and Ifra will probably keep you there talking for quite a while. So let's go back downstairs. Carenza and Micah, what would you like to do while Ziska is whisked away?
Eat dinner.
Yeah. Well, I think you all had dinner before.
Okay.
Ifra wouldn't have let Ziska leave on an empty stomach. So
probably be like, where can we get stuff for Micah and me for the party? Because now that I've been reassured that the brothel is kind of not an issue, I will very much be like, I would like a pretty dress, and Micah would definitely like pretty things. Where can we find pretty things?
You probably want Zaf and Lean down in the Winding Bazaar. That's the closest place, and it's open all hours.
Let's
Okay.
go then.
Would we go without Ziska?
Depends if you've got the money, because I think she's got the money.
Will, when you ask about Ziska, Zej will sort of glance upstairs with a kind of knowing smirk, and you get the feeling that he knows what's going on, and he says, I have a feeling my wife is going to be keeping your companion held, hopefully not against her will, for quite a few hours now as they talk shop on dresses, etc. My wife
has our money.
Yeah, someone's going to have to go and get some money. I'm minding it.
Yeah, he'll let you up to get the money, and then he'll just suggest that he can tell you how to get to the Winding Bazaar while Ziska is having her dress fitting, if you want to split the party.
How far away is the Winding Bazaar?
It is not too far. You've got quite a lot of pasture space here, so there's lots of sheep, goats, cows outside the Shepherd's Crook, so it's one of the more far away places. But in terms of actual buildings, the Winding Bazaar is just across the fields.
Okay.
So it's very quick there and back, and you're in a safe part of the city. It's still daytime, more or less. So
okay,
you've got magic, and I've got beacon floors. I think
I will feel comfortable enough that we will go do that, and just tell Zej to let Ziska know where we've gone.
We can tell Ziska, can't we?
We can tell Ziska because we're getting the money. Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
We will tell Ziska where we're going and that we're going to try and find stuff for us. And if Ziska is wearing said outfit when we are up there, we will admire suitably and get very excited for her.
So shiny.
Mm-hmm.
I hope you will also find the shiny items.
Me too. I want to be shinier. Well, I already am shiny, so I
have to admit, I'm liking this stream. It's basically food and pretty dresses.
Yeah, this is honestly the way my DMing always seems to go. I remember a couple of years ago, the last time I had a group that I was keeping together, and we managed to go for we went for a couple of years, but we would have whole sessions which were just shopping. Like sometimes nothing else happened other than we hit the shops and they bought things and talked to people.
Wow.
That's just the kind of GM I am. For some reason, I just make real life happen.
Great. Let's go shopping.
Let's go shopping.
Okay, so
what's shopping? I'm going to say to Carenza, what's shopping?
That's when you go buy the things you want with the coins that we've been given.
My hoard?
Oh, no, it's all right. We can keep that one. We'll use some of the others.
Oh, okay. That's good. But then that's your hoard.
Well, that's okay.
What's
'cause
Ziska's hoard?
it's kind of our hoard to live on, and we've been invited to a very important party. So I think it's a good thing to spend some of it on. Because
Okay.
hopefully the party will lead to more coins. It's kind of like an
Oh,
investment.
right. Right. Okay. Yeah. Okay. Brilliant. Yes. Let's go find shiny things. This is what we're buying, right? Shiny
Yeah,
things.
shiny things. Shiny things for you and shiny things for me.
Brilliant. Let's go get shiny. In my case.
And Michael will hopefully get a cape. According to the chat really want Micah to have a cape.
Make it
I
happen.
honestly have forgotten to look at chat in a while. Are they still on about capes?
Oh yeah.
They should be. If
Yes.
not, pick it back up.
Okay, so you cross the fields and past all the sort of different groups of.
If I see any
Farmers
pigs,
and then-
I'm going to give them a pat on the way past.
Sorry?
If I see any pigs, I'm going to give them just gentle little pats and strokes on the way past.
Yeah, those which are loose and sort of at their pens, you can definitely do that. But you eventually make your way to the Winding Bazaar, and from the outside, the bazaar is a loud, frightening, chaotic place. On the inside, it is much the same, but filled with people who wish to buy or sell every type of wonder from across the kingdom. Vendors shout prices almost non-stop, and may sprinkle spices, reflect light from glassware, or wave textiles in the air in front of potential customers in the hopes of drawing them into their booths for a closer look. Inside the bazaar, traders are willing to accept nearly any kind of payment, be it local currency, barter, or foreign coins. However, buyers paying with gold of any minting are likely to draw suspicious glances and whispers from the bazaar's denizens.
Ooh.
Okay. Claire Cat
have
suggested
gold.
maybe a pretty floral bonnet.
I don't
For
think
Micah.
Micah is really a floral bonnet kind of rave.
I think it's a Firefly reference.
Oh yes, it clearly
Oh.
is. I'm just saying, you know.
Okay.
I think Carenza could do with a pretty floor bonnet. Carenza's got a very sort of Kaylee.
I was going to
Cor-
say I'm
Carenza
going
could
for a
definitely
Kaylee
pull off a
vibe. I
pretty
want the
floral
Kaylee
bonnet.
dress and the Kaylee bonnet and the
Yeah.
Kaylee. Yeah. When she's
I
going
love
to
that
the
episode.
party.
That's
with
probably
Captain
one of my
Tight
favourite
Pants.
episodes of the series.
Yeah. That was one of my favorites too, when Kaylee got to wear the dress. I want that moment. I want to do a Kaylee moment and go find a pretty dress.
Okay, well, you've been recommended to go to Zaf and Lean, and you do. There's a lot of merchants around, but you do eventually see sign above one of the sort of draped. All inside the bazaar, everything's just kind of little pitched tents, doors, but you do see a sign for them.
Okay. And we'll head there since that was where we were recommended to go.
Okay, Zaf and Lean, when you meet them, are two Vata with very short, spiky black haircuts and mustaches, and look almost like twins, except that the one is a slightly darker shade, implying that they are not blood related. They stand amidst a fine selection of various silks and fabrics, and their great capes which they wear. Whenever they want to show people colours, they throw out their capes, and the swatches are all sort of pinned to their capes going down,
Hey,
and
mate,
they
you looking
point
for
to
a
various
swatch?
colours.
Yeah.
Zaf on one side has all the colours on the spectrum from red going into blue, and Lean on the other has all of the colours going into the yellows and oranges.
Wow.
Mm.
And you can tell that these folk, they look very, very amicable, very, very friendly, and seem to almost work in tandem with each other. Like when they spread out their capes, they purposely make sure that they're sort of linked together to give the full package. And when they see you approach, they raise their eyebrows and goes, "And how can we help you? Ladies, come on up. What can we do for you today?"
By the way, I have pointed out before, Micah is not actually a lady. Micah is a gentleman.
Oh, Mike was a gentleman.
Yeah.
Dang it.
Yes.
GM fail.
That.
Hence the top hat.
Lady and Rye.
And the monocle.
Yes.
Ladies can wear monocles and top hats in Aldis too.
Yes.
Okay.
True.
Noted. But
Yeah.
Micah is a guy.
Micah
Yeah,
happens
yeah.
to be a guy. Yeah.
Yeah.
Ah, fail.
That's right.
I am sorry.
No, it's okay. Right. So
Right,
yes.
so Karen's will be Zedge sent us to you to get clothes because we've been invited to a party and we need really shiny clothes on the, is it the upper ward?
The upper ward. They both seem to speak in tandem and stroke their chins in tandem as well, in a way which is almost slightly
weird.
unnerving, but their genuine smiles leave you fairly okay with it, or might, I don't know, you're your own people. They start looking inside their own capes and then start this weird sort of conversation with each other where they're looking at each other going, oh, well, do you think? Oh, I do. But maybe, yes. And of course, but that style is in now. Yes, it is. But what about? And they never seem to actually finish the ends of sentences. They only sort of do the beginnings and seem to assume that the other knows what they are talking about. This goes on for a few minutes to the point that they almost seem to forget about you. And then after a little while, they both just say together, right, and nod their head and turn back to you. And then
I'll just be looking between them still, like, because she's been following head to head as each part of the conversation goes. And she's like,
starting with you, my beautiful Jarzoni, by the looks of you.
Maybe, yes.
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 Yes, I can tell by the rather drab and uninteresting attire that you wear from your homeland. We will definitely have to.
I'm going to look quite sad at that.
Spice to that.
I'm gonna
quite
stand. I'm
sad
gonna stand a bit straighter on her
uninteresting.
shoulder and go. There is nothing drab or uninteresting about my friend.
First of all, hi, Jam Jams.
Hi, Sir Jam Jams.
Zaf and Lean are both going to sort of fold their arms and sort of raise their brow, and you can tell they're not really looking at Karenza. They are literally just looking at her clothes, which unfortunately are in the
Yes.
Jarzoni.
She's still going to feel really sad about it now.
I'm gonna nuzzle her and say, I think you look fantastic because your heart is shiny.
Oh.
Zaf and Lean remain unapologetic. Clothes are their business, and they are interested only in what you are wearing right now, not the content of your personality, which they cannot vouch for either way. You've known them 2 minutes. They start talking excitedly about very vibrant colours for you. You've seen, up until this point, quite vibrant to them, and they do ask you sort of leading questions saying, how do you feel about ruffles?
Do I know what a ruffle is?
Yeah, you, even though you're from sort of like the monasteries of Jarzon, and even though Jarzon is rather tame and quiet, they do have their own sort of approximation of fashion among the higher classes. So like you do know some of the ins and outs, but they just don't do them to quite the degree that Aldis does. But you would know what they're talking about.
Okay. I am going to be a bit like they've taken the wind out of my sails and be a bit like, I guess ruffles could be okay. Because I'm now really just, I have no idea if I want the right thing anymore. And I'm suddenly really insecure and unsure of what's going on.
Up your game, lad, so you're not getting paid.
Yeah, they're going to sort of go, ruffles, okay, and then they're going to sort of look to each other and then sort of look back to you, sort of pursing their lips a little and go, just what exactly were you hoping for?
Some kind of really pretty dress. I've never got to wear one before.
She wants to look shiny so everyone knows that she's amazing.
Well, that's indeed why we need to get rid of these robes you're wearing. We are not trying to say anything about you personally. We're just making a rather unfortunately honest appraisal of those particular robes you're wearing. It is nothing against you. You have quite a pretty face there. Yes, would look very good in...
And at this point, I'm actually going to look down at her clothes and be like, you know what? They've actually got a point.
But they were the only clothes I had.
Yeah, but now you can get other clothes.
Well,
You know, that's kind of why we're here, right? You're going to get a super pretty dress
super pretty dress.
that's going to be really shiny.
Can I have a really super pretty dress?
That is our intention. Again, we have nothing against you. You look like you could be the crowning centerpiece of any gown that you would wear, and you are certainly doing the best that you can with what you have on. Unfortunately, what you have on is not befitting of a girl of your beauty.
Oh, at that point, I'm going to tear up a bit more again. Be like,
And I'm
"Okay,
going to
can
say
I
to,
have a
and I'm,
pretty
and then I'm
dress?"
going to say to her psychically and say, maybe we'll have enough of the hordes left to get you some other clothes that you can wear when we're not at a party, which stand out a bit more and are pretty like you.
That would be nice. I don't think we're meant to get too much at once, though. Ziska might be cross.
Anyway, Zaf and Lean, having
It's just an idea.
We'll start
felt a
with the
bit
dress.
sort of, sorry,
We'll start with the dress.
having felt a bit sorry about how
Oh, Baron just said conviction for Carenza for the feels.
Oh, bless. Although I do like the idea now in my head that, like, following on from the party, that Carenza will now only be seen in this dress. It's
Yeah,
like
I
this
will not wear
dress
anything else.
or nothing.
This
I'm not
dress or
going back.
nothing. Yep.
well, Carenza, what's probably going to happen for you now is Zaf's going to take you aside and start
Okay.
drawing things out, and I think from their way of how you seem and how sort of you talk, they do end up coming up with a very floral bonnet and very sort of puffy sleeves, bright, vibrant pink. You wouldn't, I think, know this because of your own fashion, but it's sort of a very sort of got a childlike innocence to it, this dress.
Okay.
But not in a sort of mocking way.
Creepy.
But
Hopefully not in a creepy way. Either.
no, not
In
in
a
a
sort of
creepy way, more in a
innocent
sort of
princess kind of way.
yeah, in a sort of pretty princess kind of way.
Okay, I'm good with
You're
that.
a pretty princess.
I'm going to be a pretty princess.
Yeah. And then Lean is going to look to you, Master Raven, and say, and what kind of ornamentation are we looking for you? Are we just looking for jewelry? Are we looking for clothes as well, sir?
I've never had clothes. I'd like clothes, please, and sparkly things.
Okay, very well. We have clothes suited for Avon Rye, which will help you continue to be able to fly unimpeded, so you do not have to worry about that. All our clothes are designed to give you full maneuverability of the wings and also to not get caught in blusters of wind should you be traveling at higher altitudes.
Very important.
Obviously, accessories you must mind for yourselves. If you get yourself a hat and then go flying off into a squall, that's your own business. But
Maybe we can look
otherwise-
at a way to fasten on the hat.
Oh yes, we can fasten on hats. We're just saying that even to the best of our abilities, if you choose to fly very high in the air, things will invariably come off. So maybe keep to low altitudes while wearing our wares.
I think the party is going to be on the ground, right, Carenza? You think it's going to be a ground
Well,
party?
I think the upper wood is up, but
Yeah,
I
but-
believe it's still near ground.
Lean is only talking about your travel to the party. If you choose to,
Oh,
if you choose to leave
well,
the Shepherd's Crook and
Carenza
just
can't
literally
fly,
do a
so Carenza
aerial
can't fly,
flight
so I'll be
over to the
going with
party.
Carenza.
She'll probably ride on my shoulder. He'll probably ride
Yeah.
on my shoulder.
So Lean is thinking of making you a little brocaded red waistcoat
Oh,
that will wrap about you, and you will need obviously help dressing, but it will tuck under the wings and keep your wings free for flight and can be very nicely fitted to your feathers. Perhaps a little silver ring for one of your claws. In terms of hats, if you do want a top hat, they are able to get you one with a special kind of fascinator beneath the rim that will keep it affixed to you. The monocle is going to be harder for them, but they say if you come back, they can furnish you with something just before the party.
That would
Awesome.
be fantastic.
What
And
about a cape?
is there any chance I could have a cape, please?
Again, they issue a warning and say that if you intend to fly high at any point, capes are the one things which will impede your wings. They can make you something, but you have to promise to sort of stay low to the ground when flying in it, because there have
you
been
could make
accidents
it-
happening before.
If you could make it with some kind of quick release cord, so that if I do have to
You
take
could have
off
a
for an
little cord,
emergency,
and
Mm.
it could be like
Then
a
I can
bow,
just
and
pull
you
it
could
with
just
my-
then pull one.
yeah, with my
Yeah,
beak
yeah.
and
They're just
release
concerned
it.
for your safety is all, because, you know,
Yeah.
if it wraps
Well,
around
much
your neck. so-
appreciated, sir. Much appreciated, lords. Much appreciated.
But yeah, otherwise they're able to do all this for you, and it will cost you about a week's worth of the money that you've got.
Ouch. Is it something that's for both of us?
This is for both of you, yes.
Okay.
This is for a party in the high city.
Yeah. I think we're going to be willing to spend it simply because
It sounds like
this
that's kind
letter
of normal.
implied that we're going to make that kind of money back again, probably by going to the party and the
Yeah.
opportunities that the party will present. And no one's here to stop us.
I can see you, cat in the background. Don't you dare go up on that mantelpiece. That's it. Stalk off the other way. Stalk off the other way. Okay, so yeah, they will get all those clothes for you. Obviously, they need to be made up. The dress, they've only got the fabrics for it at the moment, but they're going to make that up for you, and it will be ready for collection in time for the party.
Okay.
You'll get it in the afternoon before, and then you can dress at the Shepherd's Crook. And
Okay.
they recommend that if you want to get a ride to the party, you can hire cabs from Little Resia, which will help you.
That sounds like a good idea too.
No, Claire Cat, not talking to you. Honestly, I would be worried if you were trying to climb my mantelpiece in my home, but I was definitely talking to my own cat there.
That's funny.
And the times when I was telling people to shush, I wasn't actually talking to Ziska, who was talking at the time. I was talking to my grumpy dog.
Okay.
Yeah, we're always talking to our floofs.
So we will pay for the clothes. I will probably book us a carriage cab thing to take us to the party, because Ziska will then be proud that I've taken care of something logistical.
Okay.
And then head back to the inn.
Okay.
Kane.
Okay.
I need Kane.
You then have still some hours to go. You know, it is coming on evening, and you've got that meeting at the Muddy Maid tomorrow. I'm going to kind of suggest, mostly out of feelings for Bear, who's been out of it for a while now.
Can we fast forward to the
that
meeting
maybe
tomorrow?
There's not much else to do this
Yeah.
evening.
Yeah.
Fast forward to the meeting tomorrow. That sounds like a good idea. I imagine we'd just chill out in the inn anyway and get to know the people around us a bit.
Yeah. I mean,
get some more
most of the
sleep.
people
And get
at
more
the
sleep.
inn who are visiting are from the outlying farms, so they're a constantly changing bunch. Ifra and Zedge are the mainstays, and you continue talking to them. They're very taken with you because of Ifra's interest in Ziska and in Sharla, who she's been enjoying caring for over the course of the stay so far. Early the next morning, Greymane and Marcus arrive and are taken up to the rooms. There's
Do
no
we need to
problem
get
with
them something for the party too? Are they invited to the party as well?
They are in. I mean, there's nothing in the thing saying that they're not invited, so you could do that, but you'd maybe want to hold that off until you've had your meeting before going and buying them more clothes.
And
Okay.
also, if you think about it, Greymane was there, but Marcus wasn't.
Mm.
And Greymane might have opinions about, I don't know what the general view of the upper ward is like, what kind of people they are, but we don't know the people we're going to be associating with.
That's true. We don't know where we're
Yeah,
going.
We don't really
essentially.
know if it's safe.
That's true.
Yeah.
I just feel like we've left him out of an awful lot lately.
Well, as Andrew said, it's actually only been about 24 hours.
That's true.
Yeah, it's one of those there's been quite a lot of sessions, but in terms of actual time that's passed, it's actually not been that long.
Okay. All right then. We'll go for the
Okay.
meeting then.
Okay, so you take a long walk through the city that morning, and on the border between the lower and middle wards, you find the Muddy Maid, one of the area's newest brothels. Clients from around the city and beyond have flocked to the Maid since its grand opening last year, enticed not only by the exotic and exciting team of paramours and entertainers, but also by a feature no other brothel in town offers: therapeutic mud baths. Once a potter's workshop, the place has been completely overhauled to make a welcoming and exotic haven for those looking for company and relaxation. When you enter, the main floor contains a large waiting room where clients socialize with the Maid's staff of entertainers while awaiting their treatments. When it is their turn, customers are escorted to one of the smaller rooms on the main floor, each of which is outfitted with a wood-heated soaking tub in a thick, rich, red clay slurry. You are told by a receptionist that you will have assistants on hand who will help you undress if you require it, and will help you into your bath to soak. Whether you require them to stick around afterwards is up to you, and they will perform whatever you need to help ease away your troubles. But it is at the point that he is saying this that a large bear totters up behind you.
Yay!
Hello.
Lord Arthgen. It's a pleasure to meet you.
You've managed to find this place again. It's very nice to meet you too. I've heard good things about you three.
There's usually more of us.
Yeah.
Yes, but I've heard your fourth has gone to help prisoners, I believe it was.
Well, probably to make sure that they're dealt with properly. And paperwork?
Ah, yes.
Words. Lots and lots of words.
Mm.
Yes, his greeting to you, you'd probably be here for 5 minutes if he was here greeting you. I'll be frank.
Why don't we continue this conversation in the we go through to the baths. We don't want assistance, I don't think.
I don't think I'm going to be getting in the mud bath anyway.
I'm not going to be taking off my clothes in front of a random stranger, so...
Very well. We just... It is a quiet place. We do not need to make use of the baths.
That's a
Okay.
relief.
Okay, so together you step through into the clay bath area, and once the owners and proprietors are sure you don't need any kind of assistance with undressing, they leave you to your devices and assume you're all going to have a relaxing soak in the mud baths. They keep a very good eye on the places to make sure that no one is around, no one can disturb you, so you are very well alone here. And aside from the stifling heat of all this hot clay, the place is otherwise good enough to relax and sit and talk for a time.
Okay.
I think if it's proving very warm, I think Ziska's going to be asking for some liquids just so she feels.
They will have given you that in advance.
Oh,
they will
that's
have
okay.
They will have given
She's
you a
being
jug
quite
of water because they know
dehydrated.
what. Yeah.
Okay.
I think Ziska's going to sort of like sit down and just try to make sure that she looks like she's ready for whatever it is that Arthur's going to be presenting them with. So.
Well, thank you for joining me. As I said in the message, I'm part of the Sovereign Finest. You might not have heard of me because I try to remain hidden. The type of work we do is secretive. We don't want everyone to know who I am. The mission we want you to do is to do with the party. I've heard you're going to a party this evening. Is it this evening?
Tomorrow evening, I think.
Tomorrow evening.
Tomorrow evening. It's we need some information from the place where you're going to, from the guard. Sorry, I've got the name here.
Revalian.
Gravalian. He has some information we need, and we're trying to prove that he is not as good as he appears to be.
Oh.
Huh.
Oh.
Well, I have to admit, I didn't find that. I thought that the use of that many words not really very trustworthy.
Corenza's gonna be like, how do we know we can trust you?
Well, I'm part
point.
of the Sovereign Finest.
Well, he's meant to be a lord and of the town guard. That sounds like
Yeah.
both of you are important people, and how do we know which one of you to believe?
Have you spoken to Gravalian?
No, but we've only just met you too.
But I...
How do I know you're honest?
How do we know you're actually with the Sovereign's Finest?
Yes, that too.
Yeah, and I think like Ziska's kind of gonna say like, whoa, 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 like there's already a lot of
Tension.
things that would potentially kind of like keep us like, you know, cause divides and things like that. Let's be open-minded. We haven't even like got the full details of what Arthurgens is after. It's like regarding the nature of the information, and then, you know, we are being asked to this, we can then use our own judgment, have an open mind about this Gravalian, and make a decision for ourselves about what we make of them, because this is what Arthurgen is asking for us, you know. They suspect there might be something untoward, but, you know, we may find to the contrary. You know, it's up to us to discover what's what, as it were. So let's be open-minded and see what has to be said.
Well, sorry. Well, yes, all this mission is all about information seeking. You can find out the information, and just that's all we need from you. You could possibly read the information if you want to, but it's all we need is some details about what we believe is some illegal drugs and shipments being moved around. But if you don't want to do that, I'll ask somebody else. I was just hoping you would want to join or start the process of joining the Sovereign. This is like an interview for the Sovereign Finest. If you are
We've
interested.
only just got
Ziska
here.
sort of like slightly grips the seat where she is slightly harder, and she's like, "Don't make it obvious. Don't make it obvious." But, you know, you're thinking, you know, if you're gonna make a name for yourself, kind of thing, you know, and get some steady work, you know, if you impress the top brass, kind of thing, you know, from the off, you know, you got to be getting in somewhere. I mean. So I suppose she's sort of like thinking, well, we're obviously not from around here, Arthurgen. How do we know that we've found the relevant information? Can you tell us some of the names of what we're looking for, or what it's known as? These guards are known as, so that if we come across or hear any information, we actually recognize it rather than just dismissing it as idle conversation.
What I'll need you to do is, if you take on this mission, is find information about the shipment times and places, because we just need proof that Gravalian, or someone below him, that he might not know about this, but is using these shipments to transport alternative goods, unexpected goods.
Which is what the Silence were doing.
Yes, we believe the Silence is involved.
Ooh.
I'm more alright with being against the Silence. We
Yeah,
already don't
me
like
too.
them.
Yeah, I don't like the Silence either.
Yeah, we believe.
I think the feeling's mutual at this point.
we believe that that information is in the captain's study, but I might not be well known among most people, but I would be seen. The silence knows me, and I cannot infiltrate easily.
Okay.
So
That's
With the
fair. You are
greatest
a
of
bear.
respect, you are
You are a bear.
a large gentleman.
yes, I would need to, or we need to get the shipment times and be able to intercept the shipments before they get anywhere. So we need to check that the shipments are all legal. Hopefully, we can catch either them red-handed or prove that Crevalian is not part of the silence.
Okay. So we could clear this guy. If he is actually innocent, we will be clearing him.
Yes.
Great.
Okay.
I am good with
Yeah.
that.
Okay, I'm good with that.
I personally, I don't believe he's innocent, but whatever we find, I'll go with the facts.
Good.
Okay.
I would like to do a perception check. If there's I'm going to be studying to see, like, to try and see if I believe this person, kind of thing. To be like, is that a perception check or a?
Yeah, if you would like to take a perception check.
I'm gonna do one as well.
I got
18.
Huh,
I got an
you
18. Yeah.
Did
What
one
does
of you...
18 get us? I got 18.
Yeah, so, okay, off 18, you get a definite sense that there is something that he's withholding here. What it is, you won't be able to know just from the perception. But you get the idea that he is definitely holding information back and keeping some cards close to his chest.
Do we still think he's believable about what he is telling us?
Hmm?
Do we still think what he is saying is believable, even if he's leaving something out?
I mean, within the realms of what you know about Aldis, it could be.
Okay.
Again, you are still newcomers to the city, Micah
Okay.
especially, so
Okay.
you don't know all the intrinsic workings of how the guard works or all the ins and outs of hierarchy when it comes to the Sovereign's Finest with the guard, so you don't know if
Okay.
the
So it's
Sovereign's
more of a
Finest
kind
had
of
the
a
right
gut
to just...
feeling that something isn't quite right, but we don't know what the quite is.
Yeah, you're basically too new to the city to sort of have an intrinsic idea of what's wrong, but you do get the impression that something isn't quite
right
being told to you here.
Right.
Okay.
So I'm thinking our best bet is to go to the party,
And see what we
look
can
for
find
this
out.
information, but see what else we can find out as well. So try and find out as much as possible, not just what Arthurgen is asking us to look for.
Yes, I would go with that too. Let's see if we can actually find out a
Ziska?
bit more.
Because we can talk psychically about this without Arthurgen listening in. So what do you think of that plan? I know that you're really excited about the Sovereign's Finest, and I'm excited about it as well, because it seems like a really good opportunity to help people and, you know, go and see things and experience life, but also I'm not entirely sure we can trust this particular member of the Sovereign's Finest.
I think Zissia is gonna listen to this, and like I think on a level she's sort of like, I know this is they're talking sense, but it's sort of like, I think at the same time, because she's had this thing that she's perhaps, you know, like aiming for, this was like the big goal, the big thing, and it's like it just seems to be in reach out, and it's just kind of like, you know, when it just kind of like unsettles, like the shine gets taken off it slightly, and you think, is it actually too good to be true? And then she stops and thinks, and she's like, right, okay, actually get your head out of the clouds, Ziska. And then she's just going to sort of like look at Arthur and say, like, please do not take any disrespect by my next question, Arthur, but in the community that I come from, you do not send inexperienced people to do a job, like, unless you're sure that they're going to be able to do it. We're very new, and I'm presuming that you have been with the Sovereign's Finest for quite some time. I feel it's a pertinent, like an important question. As why us? I'm sure you must have other more experienced people in covert matters who could perhaps take on this assignment. Why ask people who have been in the city just over 24 hours?
The fact
Excellent
that
question.
you've been here only 24 hours is exactly why I need you. I've heard a lot from your exploits. I believe you've stopped a bodies being eaten by pigs, I believe, and you've already stopped a mission from the Silence, if I'm not mistaken. Your exploits are
Yeah.
moving very quickly, and I do believe that you are the perfect people because they do not know you yet, so they will not suspect a wonderful group of people to be infiltrating.
Except that if they're the Silence, they know that
They do know us.
they do know us because they know that we've already stopped them once. So actually, if we go to that party and they are the Silence, we're walking into a trap.
I believe you have other ways of getting in. We're hoping that they're not the Silence, but
But you just said that
are
you
we?
believe that they are, which means you're deliberately sending us into danger.
We hope that you are quite capable. We saw what you have done, and we believe you can avoid being caught. We hope that you can. We can bring you into into the Sovereign's Finest, and this is just a test. It shouldn't be dangerous.
Yeah, but what I'm saying is, if they are the Silence, us going to that party, just going to that party, is dangerous.
We don't believe it will be dangerous for you.
Well,
Why
that's nice
not?
for you, but you won't be there.
Oh,
think,
I will. I've got an ability of making myself invisible, but I am a large bear, as you can see. So I cannot open doors without people noticing. So I need to be there, but I need people in who are visible to be able just to make sure the path is clear. I will be there with you.
You didn't mention that before. I'm
Mm.
confused.
I'm really confused too.
Mm.
The longer this conversation goes on, the more Karenza is going to get really unsure about it.
Yeah, me too.
But at this point,
Yeah.
she's not necessarily going to want to show it. She's now actually really like we might even be in danger now, kind of like.
And the good thing about being a raven is that raven faces aren't brilliant at conveying expressions, so
Yeah.
I can
Karenza's
just sit
going to
there
start
and
getting
feel-
really nervous at this point.
Mm. I think so, the fact that the story is sort of like changing slightly and it's not
yeah.
consistent. I think that's going to frustrate Ziska more than anything else. And you know, she certainly doesn't want to make a Rye bear angry at her, but at the same time, you know, the fact that Arthurgen has seemed to come to them on, you know, like a respectful level, and then seems to be disrespecting them by not actually talking it to straight when actually their personal safety could be at risk. That's actually going to really get her back up. And I think, you know, she's going to sort of like, you know, kind of stand up and say,
Wait. I've got an idea. I've got an
Okay.
idea.
Is this being communicated psychically?
This is us
Okay.
talking between us, yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
How about we go to the party?
Mm-hmm.
We know that we know there's potentially a problem with the Silence, but we beat them once, we can beat them again.
Mhm.
And we can only really find out, or we've only really got a shot at finding out what is actually going on if we go to this party and meet Gravalian and see what information we can find out.
Okay,
We could be walking into a trap.
You seem to be having a conversation psychically because you're not talking to me and you're looking at each other. I think I better leave. I'm sorry for wasting your time. We will find another way of finding these illegal drugs, and we'll find another way. And
I-
Arthurgen leaves them.
Okay. Just okay, because I don't think we'd have trusted him at that point.
Yeah.
No.
Okay. Arthurgen gets up and steps out the room, and you are left in the mud baths.
But we're still going to go to the party.
I was that close. I was that close to getting really angry with him. So it's probably just as well that he left, because if there's something I don't like, it's people thinking that they just can't talk to you
Yeah.
and that you don't understand. You know, that
Yeah.
really gets my back. I hate it when people talk down to me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
Well, at least we're all in agreement on that. Although I am
Yes.
really sorry that it looks like your goal was going to happen there, and then it
it
seems to have been
didn't.
delayed. However, you are totally badass and awesome. And if we do end up, if we are
should be
genuinely
really careful
in the
if we go to this
sites,
party though, because if they are the Silence, they know that we've mucked up some of their plans.
no, that was an important point, because I don't think I really had appreciated that until you said, and it wasn't for me. I don't think the objective was entirely clear whether we were expected to get the information or whether we were meant to be clearing a path for Arthurgen to be
that's the
getting
bit that
information. That
changed.
Yeah,
was
that's the bit that
that's what-
changed. It
which
implied
is-
we were meant to be getting the information, and then he implied that he was getting the information because we would sneak him in.
yeah.
I don't
So I
like the
think-
idea of sneaking someone else in.
So
I
just
think we need to go to this party and see what we can
See
find
what we
out.
can do and see which side we need to help
Yeah.
when we get there.
Yeah.
I'll be really, really careful, which means no splitting up once we get there.
Yes.
And maybe not taking Greymane with us, because
Definitely not
Greymane is
taking
going to be
Greymane
very
and Marcus.
recognizable.
Definitely not taking Greymane and Marcus.
I mean, let's face it, I'm going to look very different, and you're going to look very different. And
Ziska's not
and
going to look
Ziska,
quite so different.
you're not going to look quite so different, but the Silence are used to a group of, 6 of us in total?
That's true.
And there's actually only going to be 3, and of the 3 of us, 2 of us look very, very different. In fact, I could even enter separately from you guys.
No, we shouldn't be
prefer.
separate. I don't think we should do it separate if it is a trap.
Yeah, good point.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, so there is a chance that we could slide in under the radar.
Okay. That's what
Ish.
we'll do then. We're going to go to the party, but we're going to try and be not us as
Well,
much as possible. I
really,
suppose then
we're
we've
just
got
going to
to
look
be 'cause
so
we're gonna-
fabulous that they won't be expecting us.
Okay.
We're going to look super shiny.
Okay.
Yes, we are.
They're going to see us, but they won't recognize us.
Okay.
I'll be wearing a
Okay.
monocle.
And with that mystery as to what is going on and who you should be trusting within the city hanging up in the air, I think that's a good point to stop.
Stop the stream. Yeah.
Beware of bears bringing gifts of employment.
Yes.
Yes.
And parties that allow you to wear pretty dresses.
Yes.
Yeah. All right. Thank you everybody for watching. I hope you were entertained by us shopping and not trusting the bear.
We do really trust Bear in real life.
Yes.
Yeah.
Well, no, actually, when I'm playing a game with Bear, I don't trust Bear at all. It's really, really sneaky in other games too. So
On that note, do we want to raid someone?
yes,
Yes.
let's raid
There's-
We
somebody.
should raid someone.
Do you know Dilly the Doe?
Yes, that's
He's
raid Dilly the Doe.
currently
He's another
live.
D&D player.
He's currently
Um,
playing Star Wars Knights of the Republic, I believe.
Ooh, that sounds fun. Yes, we are back on Monday for Story Squires, I believe.
Yes, I believe we are.
And next Wednesday will be the Pyramid. And hopefully Brian will continue to get better. And we'll have him
Yes.
back soon, but probably not for Monday.
No, I don't think
No.
so.
I don't think so. So we may have someone else playing direct for him.
Cool. I'll start the raid.
Cool. Yay!
Oh, thanks everyone for
Yes.
joining us tonight. I hope you all have fun.
And stay with us
We had
because
a
we are going to raid Dilly
great
Doe.
time.
It
Yes,
also
stick around.
plays D&D, but is doing something different right now.
It is a RPG video game, according to the
Yeah.
internet.
Mm.
Yeah, it's a multiplayer online game, I believe.
I would not know.
Okay.
What are they playing?
It's Star Wars.
Star Wars Knights of the Old Republic.
Oh, the BioWare game. Yeah, I don't think that's an MMO. I think
Is that not an MMO? Okay. I
it
misremember.
might not be. I know it's BioWare. I'm very sure it's BioWare.
Okay. Awesome. But anyway, we are going to go join Dilly the Doe
Yeah.
Yes.
playing that.
Cool.
So stick with us and we will. You might as well just do that.
Click
We'll
the
see
button.
everyone on Monday. Bye.
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 Bye.